I guess we're live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Angelus representing for the Gray Pill Podcast. We're gonna pretty much do a part two or continuation from a conversation that was on Suzette Speaks. So if you've seen the thumbnail, if you're new, definitely hit the subscribe button. It helps with YouTube and all that good stuff, and it helps me. So I appreciate you. Definitely hit the like bell and all that good stuff. Definitely hit the all notification because YouTube is silly. And what I mean by silly is YouTube actually disconnects people from a subscriber. So if you are a subscriber to somebody and you haven't seen them in a while, that is why YouTube likes to unsubscribe from people. So okay, I'll just send it to you in the link, bro, because I'm very funny about because most people like to just hold on to links. And I don't have your Instagram, so you can just drop me your Instagram when you come in. But this link is only for DL Sync. Again, this link is only for DL Sync, so we can have a conversation about the Andrew Tate and some stuff that we was chopping it up in the back on Suzette Speak. So while he's coming in here, we're gonna go ahead and get the intro going. So I appreciate everybody for coming in for the conversation. This is not a debate. This is a continued conversation, part two from Suzette Speak. So I appreciate everybody for coming through. Newcomers coming in, my mods already know the rules. If you're disrespecting in the chat, if you're disrespecting people in the I don't see you. Try again. I'm dropping the link one more time. Okay, cool. I see him. Cool. All right, continuation. Yeah, this is a part two, the continuation Suzette Speak between me and DL Sync. And depending on how the conversation goes, but we're not going to be on that longer because I have a group discussion at 8 p.m. Central Time. So that's about like 3 to 4 hours from now. All right. So I'm going to get the intro going. Appreciate everybody for coming on through. Appreciate Mandrill. Appreciate DL Saying coming in for the conversation. Appreciate Intelligent Soapbox. Anybody else coming through. So I appreciate you. And let's get the bad boy going.
Ignorance is bliss.
All right, just want to get a mic check. Mic check. Is it me? Is it you? Mic check. Okay. Let's try this one more time.
At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good pittance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose.
All right, so we're just gonna get this bad boy started. So I'm gonna bring up DL Sync.
What's good, fam?
Hey, it was good, man. I appreciate you coming on through. All right, so this is where we's at. So we was having a great conversation. I ain't gonna lie, I wish it's a little bit longer over there. I think a good 2 hours would have got this got more clarity on both sides, at least both perspectives. If we didn't agree, the very least, if we didn't agree, because there's a lot going on.
But hey, Sue had to get to those ribs and you know what I'm saying, and get the grilled chicken.
Come on, she could have gave us another hour. She could have fasted a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate her allowing us on to have the conversation. So, all right, so if you want to chime in, so where we left off at, because it was because I don't want to go straight into it, but I want to ask this. So what you feel like or what you don't know of Andrew Tate?
All right, so I mean, if you wanted to, we can, kind of start from the very beginning of all this, right? We could,
Yeah.
you're great pill. You know what I mean? People talk about red pill, blue pill. And I can remember the first time I've ever seen you in the chat. I was on Suzette's. Like, it was the first time I was on Suzette. And, it was like, kind of hammering like red pill, you're red pill. And I was like, hey, whatever, bro. Like, I look at red pill and blue pill just like the movie Matrix, right?
Okay.
Either you're unplugged and you are accepting reality for what it is, or you're plugged in and you basically asleep and you're sleepwalking through life. That's how I look at it, right? So when people talk about red pill, blue pill, black pill, gray pill, banana pill, all these damn pills, right? I'm like, there's only two that really matter to me.
Okay.
Right? Are you willing to accept the way society is today? And yes or no? You know what I mean? If you are willing to accept the way society is, the good, the bad, the horrific, then in my opinion, you're red pill. That has to do with relationships. That could be politics, finance, all the rest of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, then you're blue pill. And all this other stuff, man, means nothing to me, man. All these different other colors, like, man, whatever, bro. Like, either you in or you're not. You're plugged in, you're not.
Okay. All right. I could. Okay, we're on the same page with that because I met like maybe 5 different red pills. They all it's weird to me. It's like church, right? It's like different branches of the tree of when it comes to religion. You got the Baptist, your Catholic, your Buddhism. So I feel like So I feel like red pill pretty much. I feel like red pill. I've spoken like to 5 different red pillars. 3 of them pretty much the same ideal. 2 of them a little bit, I guess, self-nihilistic to the point is like they just like, yo, as far as relationship goes, all women is this. They just have their whole mindset. Like there's no flexibility with them.
That's the Sith pill right there.
I had a conversation with luckily for me, I still hold them guys in the very high regards. I spoke to 5. One of them was broke down the black pill, broke down a very depth conversation of the black pill, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, so am I black pill? I was more confused, but I do understand the dynamics because again, I'm a very hardcore fan of the Matrix. When I came down this rabbit hole of the internet space, when they was talking about it, the first thing came in my mind, it was like, hey, it's a movie. Like, are we taking it that serious? It's a movie. Exactly. And then when it was another guy, a content creator that actually was breaking down the quote unquote the matrix of the movie, I'm like, oh, so we have a space of men of the pill realm talking about a movie, but using a relation form to, in some sorts, a large chunk of them beating down women. And then they come across, and then at the same time, the movie was actually created and written by women. So I was like, is that the biggest hypocrisy ever? So I was like, now, if we would have went to what's some old movies, a Dirty Harry movie, and y'all did ideas over that, that would have made more sense. So that's where I'm at with that one. So we kind of agree with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, so there we go. Like I feel you. So, and then when you get into the space, it's one of the things that I learned when I fell down this rabbit hole. There are a lot, and I would say the majority of the guys in the space are confused. And I'm talking about the people who have the big followings, and a lot of these people who are, got people listening to them. A lot of them are confused, and they're looking for leadership. So I think you mentioned it earlier on Suzette's show or someone in the chat when it's about a money grab. Facts. Mm. You know what I mean? Facts. Let's just keep that 100, right? Again, that's about being unplugged. I'll be foolish to sit here and say like, no, the red pill is the answer. And I done come across these guys. No, this the red pill's the answer. The black pill's the answer. MGTOW's the answer. I'm like, bro, what's the question? Y'all walk in the door saying that, man. What's the question? Yeah. You know, because if the question is 1 + 1, 2 is the answer, not red pill, not gray pill, not blue pill, not, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you got guys who are lost and they are looking for leadership. Now, there are those in the space that don't even claim red pill, but their content it's similar to red pill, maybe some call it red pill adjacent, right? I'm talking about Michael Sertan. I'm talking about Rich Cooper. Rich calls it the Mano Swamp. That's another one. He's brought me on this, brought me up on this platform, and we've been able to talk. Cool guy. He answers my messages when I hit him up on Instagram. So again, back to the other point, like, can I call Rich Cooper my friend? No. But if I was to see Rich Cooper somewhere, like, yo, Rich, what's up, man? I'm DL Saint. He'll be like, oh, what's up? It'll be love. And then from that point forward, we can say, yeah, we're building some sort of relationship, right? But you have people who don't even understand the basic dynamics when it comes to friendships, relationships, networking, and all the rest. These guys are all in this zone we call a red pill. So when you say you talk to a few red pillar guys, I'm just like scratching my head, like, oh shit, who'd you talk to? You know what I mean? Yeah. Look at John from Modern Life Dating, right? I had to talk to some of my guys. I got a group out here. We call ourselves the New Templars, right? Based on the Knights Templars, right? So talking to one of my Knights, and he's like a big fan. He's like, man, John's my friend, this, that, and the third. And it turned into what's about to transpire here. Because I was like, yo, bro, did you see what he said? Did you see this here? Did you see this there? No, but he's a really good guy. I'm like, yo, that's your man's in them, right? That's your man's. We're showing like, yo, this is what he said. This is, I don't want to get you in trouble, but this is a B as in, you know what I mean? Like we were going hard. So again, we as men, and women should do this too, but we're talking from a male perspective right now. We as men should hold ourselves to a higher standard. We should be honorable, or strive to be honorable as best we can. We should be accountable. And I think that might be a pretty good segue into what you want to get into. Because a good thumbnail, by the way. I'm like, oh man, bro, got me. Like, bro, got me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good thumbnail, though. I was like, I knew he was working on one. He's probably working on a thumbnail. I'm like, yeah. But the thing is, right, we're about to have a discussion about, one of the guys that, people are looking at as the leader of the manosphere world, the leader of the red pill world, right? The only one close to him is probably Myron Gaines right now, right? So we're about to talk about this guy, and it's about accountability. Now, if you can show to me on this stream that he's talking about he's out here messing with little girls, then yeah, man, I got a problem with dude. You know what I mean? And trust and believe, I'm gonna let him know. I'll get word to him. Like we ain't, we ain't friends, but I get word to him.
Yeah, and again, just to make it clear for everybody, I'm like here on the Grey Pill podcast. Pretty much, it's about all, like, me personally. I hear anybody that supports the Grey Pill podcast. We don't support no pill ideologies, but the Grey Pills pretty much was like, even down to the logo, it's pretty much like a clickbait and a lure for most of the pill people out there, because they'll see it, or people that don't even know, and I'll just come in with my avatar and they'll be like, what is that? What is this? I was like, okay, I'll have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I see is most of the toxic versions of the pills, they'll jump in leading with who I am, which 9 times you kind of fall from that. If you lead, we already know if you're leading with money, to me, you're losing. If you're leading with chicks, you're losing. If you're leading with the cars and the glamour and the glitz and the clout, to me, you're losing. That's not how you attract people necessarily for me. But for the Grey Pill podcast, we talk about all things open perspective. There's no ha got you moment. There's no let me try to prove you wrong. It's pretty much like, hey, let's have an open discussion. Even if we have a disagreement, trust me, it's been a lot of people on my podcast. We have disagreements. I'm like, okay, cool. If you agree with that, you live your life, I live my life. We'll see what happens when we meet the Golden Gates upstairs. That's it. So
Golden Gates hell, I'll be outside the door like, what's up, player? You gotta holler, man. You know what I mean? But no, in real talk, and why you're on that, because like it's clickbait, it's a way to get people engagement, and that's gonna lead to money. So Cash App and Super Chats, I'm sure, appreciate it on this platform, y'all. You know what I mean? Hint, hit that like button, y'all.
Of course. But just the fact that you just said that, because shout out to Inky Unplugged, because she's actually going to come on for the discussion for marital status, and you're more than welcome if you're free, bro, because for some reason I got like more chicks coming on than guys, and they got stuff to do, but you're more welcome to have that conversation with us. But Inky is one of them. I'm actually going to help promote. She has a great cause, so any cash apps, whatever that anybody donates is gonna go to Inky. Inky don't know this, but when me and her, I was on her platform, we had this great conversation, and the stuff that she was talking about with her cause, I was like, oh, that'd be good. So when she comes on tonight, I'm have her introduce it, and any donations anybody sent for as Cash Apps, Venmo, whatever, it will be plugged in the chat, and everything will go to her, so she would donate to that great cause. So, and I appreciate her for allowing me to have that conversation. So,
And,
all right,
and that's going to be on this platform.
correct, tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time for anybody
All right.
Eastern, because I think I got like 8 people. I'll be trying to keep with everybody's time zone. That's crazy. We all adults, and I got it's a lot.
I sent you a request on Instagram, by the way. So just go ahead and hit that whenever you get time, and then we'll be plugged in.
Okay.
But I'll come through there, man. But when it comes to marriage, today, I had Suzette speaking patois almost, boy. When Suzette starts to get riled up, that Jamaican comes out, bro. She was.
So I think Suzette's on the line of, she's like, hey, this is a brand, so I got to be careful what I say, and because of my background. So I think she's on the fence. The people I have on here were like regular, not saying regular to the point, which nothing wrong with regular, but we're like regular people. Like, I speak my truth, and this is what it is. And we have very educational people on here. So, and anybody that knows me, especially, I'm very picky who I invite on here. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't throw random people on my platform, because you already know, as a content creator, you already know somebody come on with a phone and it's like all whack. Like, you got to go.
Yeah, bro.
You got to go.
I've been lucky. I haven't had too many trolls like that. I've only had a couple, and Lady Navoa, sisters in the house, you know what I mean? She'll tell you, like, over there where we are, Mandrella tell you, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't grown up conversations over there, bro. And it's just like you said, you gotta pick up, I'm in that world. I rock with these dudes, so I can't sit back and go, well, I'm not red pill. That's why I always give that disclaimer up front. Like, this is what I mean by that. And then we could go ahead and we could talk about stuff. And when we talk about marriage, I'll definitely come on there, because I tell young guys, man, today, I'm like, bro, if you are broke, you are brokey, and you ain't trying to do nothing with your life, by all means get married. But if you have something, if you plan on having something, if you're hardworking, bro, you might want to think about it. You know what I mean? And people talk about prenups.
It's gonna be layers to this deal. Just let you know.
We'll say that tonight. Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah, no YouTube talking points. No YouTube talking points over here. All right, so
that's what I'll be saying.
All right, bet. So okay, cool. So I don't know. Did you see any of the Andrew Tate's confession videos at all?
No, and here's the thing, like, because Suzette was like, I follow Tate a lot. I did, like, when I discovered Tate, what, year and a half, 2 years ago, I discovered him on Fresh and Fit. I saw, like, his thumbnail. I ain't gonna lie to you, that thumbnail must have sat in my queue for months. I'm like, dude looks corny. Who's this dude? So I finally got around to watching it, and I was like, wow. So I was watching his content back then, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And like I said, I do study that dude's words. Like, I was listening to what he was saying. I'm like, all right, there's some good points here. This bombastic stuff over here, I don't necessarily agree with, but I agree with these points over here. Once he became the most Googled man, and he was just, everywhere, I was oversaturated. The message was the same. I wasn't really keeping up with what he was doing until the case dropped. You know what I mean? Until when they locked him up.
So what did you feel like resonated that he said? That you said, I study his words. Like, what was he said for you to be like, okay, this can motivate me or move me or what? So, because like, to me, it's just like, I feel like regular guys around the street that I knew growing, like, for me, it was the elders and the old heads stuff that he says. Like, I hear that all the time, so I don't see anything different.
See, where I grew up, we didn't have that. The elders and the old heads were either gangsters, you know what I mean, or dope fiends. So we didn't really have, and the guys who weren't in the streets at all, they stayed so far away from the streets. And the people with means, they left the hood. So there was a void of leadership, of wisdom. I was lucky to have access to my dad. I was lucky to have access to my, uncles and grown cousins, right? But it wasn't enough of the influence to keep me out of the streets. I think that influence was enough to keep me alive, to keep me out of prison, right? And it was just that little bit of a difference, right? So when I see someone like Andrew Tate, and he's talking about his life, and he's talking about, mostly when he was talking about chess, when he makes his references to the chessboard and how he's, always thinking, he's trying to make the best move on the board. And he's always talking about, hey, if you lose in a chess match, you lost because of something you did. It's not something that someone else did. You lost. It might not have been the move you just made. It might have been the move. It might have been the third move out of 300. But that third move is what lost you the match. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. So I started listening to him more. yeah, there's a lot of craziness. You know, they want to call it the quote unquote locker room talk or whatever. But whenever there would be moments when he would say stuff that was profound to me. And I'm like, yeah, dudes need to hear that. Right. When you go back and watch that episode when he said depression isn't real. Well, did he mean depression isn't real? Nah, not really, because he's depressed right now. Right. He came out of prison. He's depressed. He's dealing with all this kind of stuff. But what he was trying to say, and the message I gleaned from that is you got to push through that. Now, that's something that I understand. Now, when I saw all this stuff, what I was like, oh, I'm just going to follow the top G. No, I'm just listening. Like, I can see why these young guys are gravitating towards an Andrew Tate type, right? He's the prototype. He's in shape. All right, kickboxing champion 4 times. I know you was clowning. Like, what does that really mean? I'll tell you this. I'm not going to climb into the ring with that dude. You know what I mean? Like 4-time kickboxing champion, world champion. If you're the 4-time ping pong champion or space champion, you know, world space champion, I got to get that to you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat you. But the fact that he was like, you know, this is how I made my money. This is what I was doing. This is what our life was on the streets. We had nothing. And we were able to get to this point. Right. And then then came, okay, how did you get that money? Then came the cam girl work. And what he was doing, he was telling a story how he was getting girls to do this and that, him and his brother. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay.
Well, so you was fine with that. So hold on. So when he told the webcam story, was that on Fresh and Fit? That's where you saw it.
First time I saw it was on Fresh and Fit. It was either the episode when he said depression isn't real or the one after that, right? So it's not that I was fine with it. When he told that story, I'm like, that's a hood dude. That's a hood dude. Maybe he's not from these hoods over here in America, but that's a hood dude. And then he started talking about looting and the way he grew up. I'm like, yeah, that's a hood dude.
Okay, so I understand the beginning, like the motivation and all that. So at that point, when you heard him speak of that on Fresh and Fit, so you was like, okay, I understand he's a hood dude, but what he said on Fresh and Fit, was you okay with that, or you just like, okay, I understand him?
I understand it.
Okay,
I'm like, that's a hood dude. I'm like, okay, I understand that. And the information that he was like the part about, you know, he would have the girls sitting there with a computer that's not plugged in, and he and his brother in the background listening, and they're responding to these dudes. Like, I'm like, bro, he's spelling out how he's finessing guys. And I don't have a problem with that. Again, I'm a grown up. If you decide to send $30,000 over because some girl on some camera on your computer is saying she loves you and she's gonna be with you, man, that's on you, bro. And he's just kind of spelling it all out. Like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm in there. I'm answering these dudes and telling them what they say because, you know, just down the third. And again, am I okay with that? Is that something that DL Saint would do? No, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? I ain't doing that. Was what he was doing illegal? No, it wasn't illegal.
True.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that. But you know what I mean? But this, it's not up to me to say you are a good person or a bad person based on your actions. It's not up to me. It's only up to me to say what I would and wouldn't do.
That's fair, because like even with the content I push out, like you already know, you can easily just do the most trashing, bashing, doxing, whatever. The views sub count just go up so crazy. And I remember for me going on a rabbit hole, and this is literally during the point of the pandemic, because nobody had nothing to do but watch TV, Netflix, Hulu, and here you go, favorite YouTube. And I was always a fan of Aber and Preach when they would just either sit in their couch, because they was never standing up. They were sitting in their couch, or Aber would just like do random thoughts, and that was it. And then when this came about, I say, okay, this is weird. So I was more of the let me get at Fresh and Fit because of stuff they said between them two. But I had to think, like, I still have the old videos. Nothing's even uploaded. And I still have the old videos. And I had to think, like, is that me? Because when you put something out, especially as an influencer, a lot of people they don't think about this. The moment you put out content is either what you say, how you say, and who you saying with. Most importantly, who you saying it with. So if I'm having a conversation to my audience, my viewers, I know somebody's watching. Even when I'm on random panels, let's say, I'll shout out to We Unlock, right? I like to hang out over there. Or Jay Takashi, he's the anime guy. I go out in their panels. But if I see something that's out the norm, let's say, for example, a guy on a panel asked a woman in the chat, hey, how old is your child? And I'll go in the chat and I'll tell that person in chat out of instinct, you don't have to respond to that because that's a digital footprint. You know, it's little things like that. You have to be careful what you say and how you say it, because if you're an influencer, is what have you produced? So that's where I came from that end. So it went down a whole rabbit hole. But I had to think, like, is this the kind of content? Do I want to bash Fresh and Fit for being Fresh and Fit? No, I'd rather come at the talking points of Fresh and Fit. Now, when everything came down the line of, like I said, personally wise, you can say, hey, which we already know, people joke about Walter Weeks and say he looked goofy, he looked this, that, third. Some people might say Myron carried himself a bit awkward and all this stuff. Okay, cool. But overall, everybody say, hey, the business wise, Fresh and Fit got it made. They're getting the views, they're getting this, they're showing you that kind of lifestyle. Even it might be a gimmick, but you can't debunk that gimmick. They will do like Womanizer Wednesday. They'll do like business on one day. So like they often all the time. That's like pretty much, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they'll run a show almost like Sunday to Saturday, maybe 4 to 5 days a week.
They used to. They're down to 3 days a week now. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They still do the Monday Mondays when they talk about finance. They just did a show on credit, which was great. They do the Womanizing Wednesday. And then on Fridays, do these live call-in shows. Now, that's 2 shows a day, 3 days a week. So
Correct.
They're still doing shit where it used to be 2 shows a day, sometimes 3, 7 days a week. They went hard for the first 2 years.
Correct. And now, just to mention that, let me cut you off real quick. So I appreciate Miss Navoa send the Cash App. Again, any Cash App tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time. All donations are going to go straight to Inky Unplug for a very great cause that she have. I can't repeat everything she said, but she will explain everything at 8 p.m. Central Time. So I appreciate the Cash App that was just sent. So I appreciate you, Miss Navoa. Everything will go through. Amaz, if you can, definitely drop that again. I already had it pinned. So Wally, appreciate you.
Can I show some love on that for dropping that Cash App?
Sure, man. Most definitely.
With the Cash App, when you got to go old school with it. Don DeMarco to you, sis.
Definitely appreciate it. So, all right. So this is where you saw Andrew Tate on Fresh and Fit. Now, this is where I got down the rabbit hole when the point of because personally, I didn't really care too much for him. All the stuff that he was saying was pretty much the same as stuff that I was seeing on shout out to you. All the stuff I was seeing on Fresh and Fit, but the moment he got arrested around late December, that's like, okay, hair stuck up. I was kind of like that. I kind of felt like he was sus, but people on YouTube, people in media do what they want to do. Hell, you got the Kardashians, you got, all these other people. So I was like, whatever. So this is what I saw, and we can kind of break that down from here. And again, guys, I appreciate everybody coming through. If you're new, definitely hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the all bell notification because YouTube is weird. YouTube will unsubscribe from you, and you will look for somebody. If you like DL Saints and you subscribe to him for a whole year, next thing they're like, "Hey DL, I see you on the platform, but I'm not subscribed to you. Maybe you kicked me off. Maybe you blocked." No, we didn't do that. You ain't
lying, bro.
Yeah, YouTube took us off. I had to hunt down Peso, man. He's on the space of the Passport Bros where he pretty much antagonized him. So and people take it personally.
Another conversation. Man, I tell these Passport Bros, man, that's hilarious, man. I've talked to some of those dudes, and my whole thing is if you don't know what you're doing, you're talking about womanizing in another country. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get wrecked over there, just like you get wrecked over here. The only thing is you're gonna be able to smash over there, right? Easier than you can smash over here, but you still getting wrecked. You know what I mean? So this is bottom line. Like, passport, no passport. You need game, gentlemen. Game.
All right. That is fair. All right. So this is from this is something I came across. A defense lawyer that pretty much promotes on his channel. His niche is about self-snitching. And the first three
he's out of South Florida. Yeah, he's down in I think he's in Broward or Dade County, but that's where he's down there.
Correct. So this is pretty much what he got from a video that a lot of people have from Andrew Tate was actually talking about the how-to video with the Hustlers University. So Dale, you can stop me anytime. This is actually on my content, so you can stop me anytime if we want to take from there. This is what from my eyes and ears from Andrew Tate from what he said versus what you said, what you heard and saw on Fresh and Fit. So here we go.
I don't know how the banking works. I don't have any of my guys' phone numbers. I have nothing. And that's why they don't want to leave. Because they're like, oh, well, he has everything. I need him. I have to stay with him. He has everything. It's important. I'm telling you, it's a very important element, that control.
Can I get a
You say webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex fest. But in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you. Webcam studios everywhere. There's one webcam studio down the road called Studio 20 with 100 rooms. 100 rooms, 8-hour shifts, 3 girls a day. That's 300 girls a day working, and they all work on LiveGasm.
All right, let me stop here. So at this point, I think me and DL can agree that there's nothing illegal about doing a webcam business. You know,
There's nothing illegal or legal.
There's nothing illegal about doing a webcam business.
Agreed.
All right.
From what we know, we're not experts, guys. This is just
yeah, we don't all know webcam.
right. I ain't in that business. You know what I mean? FBI, if y'all listening, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So if you're going to go on LiveGasm, you're going to be competing with big time guys. And what you want to be competing with is people at home in their bedrooms. You don't want to be competing with serious businessmen, because I know for a fact, Studio 20, the owner of Studio 20 and the owner of the website itself, Liza Yasmin, are friends, and they've got some kind of backhander agreement. So all the Studio 20 girls appear high on the webpage. They appear at the top of the page. Obviously, if you're going to go on there, you don't want to scroll down 10 pages to find a girl. You're going to go to the girls in the first row. All his girls appear high up because he's giving the guy a backhand. It's all this shady business. It's a huge competition. Now, I've told very shortly my story, how I kind of started my whole webcam business. I'll tell it again in detail here. I was fighting. I had some money. I had 70,000 pounds in a safe in my bedroom in my house. I wanted to buy property in Thailand and move to Thailand. I needed 80,000. I was 10 grand short. And I thought I'd go to the casino and make the 10.
That's all.
Obviously, we all know how that story went. So I lost 30. So now I need 40. I needed it quickly. So
now this is after his 4-time champion in kickboxing. And again, this is him saying this.
He not had after. This is during.
Okay,
this during. Like he was still, like that was what he did. He was a professional kickboxer. He already had, when he told this story on Fresh and Fit, he already had 1 or 2 titles. Right. So this was during that time frame when he was at his peak as an athlete in that space, kickboxing. I think this was before he did MMA, because he did MMA for a little bit. So this is while all that was going on.
Okay, fair enough.
I was sitting there trying to find a way to make money. So how can I make money? And
real quick.
I said to Tristan, I'm literally not.
Go ahead.
The reason he needed to make money, again, he said this on Fresh and Fit. He owed some people some money. He's like, I owe some people some money, and these are people who don't take too kindly if you don't pay them when you say you're gonna pay them. You know what I mean? So he was under the gun, literally, to get this money.
Oh wow!
Leaving my room until I have a way for us to make more money, because I can only fight so many times per year, and I know their income. So I got a pen and paper, and I was on YouTube, like researching, how people make money, what millionaires have, and they kept talking about assets. I was sitting there thinking, what assets do I have? I'm trying to buy a property. I mean, I didn't own a property in the UK at the time. No. They didn't pay me tax to anyone. I didn't want to pay taxes, so I didn't buy a house to the firm. So I was like, what assets do I have? Okay, I have a car. I have this, I have that. And then I realized I had about 5 girlfriends, all smoking hot. And females are an asset. Attractive females are absolutely.
This is the thick of it. So this is the question I asked you. So do you have a problem at this point of what you said earlier, like, hey, I get it. Do I agree with it? Am I down for this? Or this is something I would do too? Because again, he's supposed to be teaching men how to be better and be more leveled up.
So let me draw a distinction there. Like the people who look at him and folks like you, and there are people out there who follow him, and people like you who are like, no, he's not a leader. I don't look at him as a leader. I'm not telling someone you need to do what Tate is doing. You need to live like Tate. There are aspects of that man's life and how he moves that can help you if you choose to do it that way. And if you look at these guys, they came from nothing and they have something now. So I start there. Like, I don't look at him. I don't say, hey, Sonny, go over there and listen to Andrew Tate, and that's going to, answer all of your questions. No. Okay. What I do, we've already established, that's not my game. Right. But he's about to talk about how, he got these women and how he started in the video cam business. I'm in my 50s, but when I was a young cat, You know what I mean? I had a rotation. I've always been good at womanizing. I know how to talk to people. I'm a people person, right? When he started telling this story, I'm like, yeah, I've seen variants of that in the streets. It wasn't a cam involved, but it was some other things involved. They weren't like walking the track or anything like that. But I saw women who were into dudes who would do anything these guys said. Anything. These women would go work their regular job and come home and give the money to these dudes. In most cases, these dudes were deadbeats. I'm not saying Tate's a deadbeat. Don't go clipping me. Don't go clipping me, y'all. But I'm saying, in most cases, just my experience, I've seen dudes do exactly what Tate's about to roll out, what he's about to, map out, but they did it in a different way. But it was the same outcome.
So would it be fair to say, at this point, would it be fair to say that it's pretty much on the onus of the women that fall for that type of behavior, that the guys that like, oh, women go like, one might like give a guy a ride back and forth, another one might pay his rent, the other one like, yo, I'll treat him for dinner here and there? Or is that
I would say that, yes, I would say that people, men and women who get finessed, or like Andrew Tate says, famoosed, if you fall for it, it's on you. You were grown up, right? I would definitely say that. Now, I have a hardcore take on this. If you out there and you going, here's my take on this. Illegal, there should be no drugs illegal in America. If you want to go out there and buy fentanyl, if you want to go out there and buy heroin, you want to go out there and buy whatever you want to buy, you should be able to go out there and buy it. Right? You should. I think the government should take over. They should tax they should tax it. Get all that drug money going straight to the government so we can, build better facilities so we can help these people who are strung out. Right. But you know what I mean? So when people talk about drug dealers, like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be out there cranking. That's not something I'm trying to do in my 50s. Right. If I chose to do something like that when I was younger, if I got caught, it was my fault. If you out there selling, you out there buying the stuff, and you get strung out, that's your fault. So my view a lot of people may think that's kind of extreme, but I truly believe in accountability. Now, if you're a child, that's not your fault. Even though some of these kids, you know what I mean? But if you're a child legally, if you're a child, I got to give you some leeway there.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Same thing like I always tell people joking up like virgin lungs. I don't really drink like that. I'm a social drinker. I even got buddies. They like big on the Hennessy, and if I don't partake in that, they pretty much clowning me for it. And it's all good, But if
I love Hennessy, bro, but I would never clown you. That's just more for me.
Hey, there you go. But see, you can have it. I got 3 bottles on the shelf, got collecting dust. It's just there.
Yeah, it's just there for the ambiance. I drink XO and above, so them drinks expensive, bro.
I'm a lightweight, and I pretty much I'm a mixed drinker, so that's what they clown me for, and it's all good. So, but my thing is, if you're going to use that and you're using it for yourself, cool, do you all day. So I think we're agreeing with that one. And at the same time, don't push it off on other people, especially like children and underage people. You know what I'm saying? But here's a tweak to that though. At the same time, don't try to, because Dope Boys and Hustlers does this too. Don't like, they'll offer it to you, but at the same time, you got the ones that will like try to sell it to you, knowing that you down on your luck, you're depressed, whatever. Like, hey man, this could get you there. So, and this is where I think Andrew Tate done with a lot of misguided men, and I guess women too, use them to a sense to where like I can get something from you, but I'm not going to really offer anything real to you. And I think that's pretty much how I see it.
Yeah, there are some pushers out there, man. Yeah, you know the song, I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. You know what I mean? Y'all heard the song, I'm the pusher man. You know what I mean? There are some people out there, but from my experience, man, it wasn't nobody out there pushing nothing. It was so much demand. Imagine I came up, in the 80s and all that. It was so much demand, bro. You know what I mean? It wasn't like in the movies. Come on, try this, Billy. Nah, it was none of that. They come in there like, bro, I need to work in 50. What's up, bro? Who got that 30 pack? You know what I'm saying? Who got that 20 pack? That's what they was doing. They were really fiending. But I agree with you though. I agree. And I'm starting to think, man, I thought I got put on my had to put on my.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I thought we was gonna have a disagreement.
Get into it, bro.
I really did. But like I said,
I'm with you.
Yeah, the only thing like tricked me is like the whole pill ideas, because it's like it's like a large group of collective people stuck on one idea, but it's not you. You know what I'm saying?
But you
It's
know
not
what it
you.
is, bro? Like I'm gonna keep hammering this home. The guys that you're talking about, they are searching for leadership and they need help. Andrew Tate is just the latest, glitziest, brightest. He's the dude with the Bugatti. You know what I mean? They're going crazy, but they're not doing the work, right? They're not. Andrew, if you listen to his message, you can find some good information there. Maybe, I don't know, 25% of it, maybe a little bit more.
But that's very hard from people that's like the snake. Remember back in the snake oil salesman, he come up with that dancing jig, and then you got people, the slow people in the back of the bus, in the back of the church, they don't know how to hear the real message. So it's for me, it's hard for those type of guys to actually pick out the gems. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when he say what he say, I'm like, oh, either that's a cocky guy, but I understand where he coming from with the cockiness. You know what I'm saying? So I move on and go do me, or I also hear the old heads, the little piece of gem. I hear the old heads, how I came up, they will say the same thing over and over and over again. And if you was that knucklehead that didn't listen, okay, now when you fall on your face, they don't even say nothing to you. Now life got you. You got to learn from it. You got, like you said, pick up by your bootstraps type attitude. So that's how I see it. But the other type of lost individuals I feel like it's hard for them. And I think I can't tell Andrew Tate and other people how to speak, but when it comes back to influence, when you're the way you carry yourself, they're gonna sacrifice themselves to build you up. And that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, again, it speaks to that individual. Now, I believe in that 80-20 thing, right? I say this all the time. 20% of people, guys, are going to be successful. They're going to be successful either financially or womanizing and all that. The 20% of dudes are going to be out there getting all the women or whatever. So that leaves 80%, right? So, and I call them the bottom 80. I call them the basement dwellers. I say it for a reason. I want to make them mad. You know what I mean? Quit talking about how you see me in Miami, some 50-year-old dude out here doing it, getting down. I'm kicking it with the young guys. And you like, yeah, big on, yeah, woo, woo, cheering me on. I don't need you cheering me on, homie. I need you to do the work. I need you to figure out why you ain't on this yacht with us. I need you to figure out why you can't afford to fly down to Miami. I need you to figure out why you're not dedicated enough to you to go out here and get this money and be somebody. Get into the top 20. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a millionaire to be in the top 20. You don't even have to make six figures. You don't have to be ripped up like Andrew Tate and them, right? But you need to have knowledge of self. You got to have understanding of game. So when people come to my platform, a lot of these dudes stay away from me. They run away from me because they know I'm coming at you with the real. I don't want to hear this rah-rah shit. The Tate boys don't know who you are, nor do they care. You know what I mean? They call you a brokey. You are a brokey. Now, if you're a dude that's doing something, you have managed to network yourself to a point where you can sit down at the table with the Tates or with Fresh and Fit or with Patrick Beck David. You know what I mean? Or you can sit down with Rich Cooper. That means you're doing something. They're going to gladly have you sit at the table and allow you to join in. You're going to be accepted amongst top tier men. Right? Because you're doing something with your life. But if you're just out there rah, rah, rah and cheerleading outside the window talking about, yeah, go, 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 man, get the hell out of here, bro.
Okay, fair enough.
Be an asset.
Just for the record, I am broke and busy. So there you go.
He say broke and busy. That means you're going to make money. That means you on your way, brother.
It won't be no, I promise you that. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. It might be, but it's on somebody else's dime.
Hey, like I said, did you network yourself onto that yacht? You know what I'm saying?
That part.
Club with 10 blondes, and you'll see who the most important guy in the club is. Fuck the champagne shows. I've walked into a club with 10 girls, and there's guys next to me doing champagne shows. Is anyone looking at their table or my table? No one gives a fuck about their table.
Stop real quick if you can. Mm-hmm. It was little gems like that. Little gems like that. Right? Tate said in another, I don't know if it's going to be in this clip, but Tate said, when you take money off the table, right? Mm-hmm. So like you on your grind right now, Grey Pill, you gonna make it because you doing the work. I know what it's like. I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm retired and I got some things going, but it's still hard work no matter where you are on the spectrum. But when he started talking about when men have no money, take money off the table, right? If you walk into a room full of billionaires, you guys are all billionaires. Mm-hmm. Money no longer has any meaning. No meaning in that environment. None. Y'all all billionaires. I'm worth $1 billion. You might be worth 100 billion, but we're all billionaires. Yeah. Right. If I'm the only one in there with beautiful women, I am the most top tier guy in the room. I have what all y'all want.
But see, now that's where it comes down to with Rollo Tomasi, and this is anybody that doesn't know, Rollo Tomasi is pretty much he says he doesn't. If I swear on anything I love, if I find him actually claiming as the grandfather Red Pill, I'm splitting the crap out of that. But he claims he's not, but everybody dubs him the grand poobah of the Red Pill / manosphere space. But he actually says something around to that too. But unfortunately, he got pinned down of what's high value, So
on Fresh and Fit. Destiny got his ass. That was a great show.
Yeah. That was I ain't gonna lie, that was a good combination with Sneeko and Destiny.
Sneeko and Destiny. I can't wait to meet. I met Sneeko, you know what I'm saying? I'm familiar with Sneeko. I can't wait to meet Destiny. My next trip to Miami, I'm hoping to catch up with him.
Okay, that's what's up. So he couldn't understand like what to them is what is the alpha male or whatever. For me personally, I feel like it's whatever that person deemed you as. But I don't never use the word alpha because I think that's on YouTube is another talking point and it's cringe. Like you said, who category of people you're with, they call you, hey, big uncle, whatever. Here in the South, I hear comments like they don't even say that. I got 50 different names. It's just how they respect you in certain manners. So I'm okay with that. Maybe that's the way of the alpha. That's cool. But I never come off like, again, leading with the money, leading this. I'm probably the cheapest brother you even know.
No, you're not. No, you are not. I know I know 3 billionaires. I actually know 3 billionaires in my life. You know what I mean? And those are the tightest dudes. 2 of them are definitely the tightest people I've ever met. This third guy I just met, we'll see how tight he is. But bro, the more money you make, the more money you want to keep. Like the biggest spenders are the people at the bottom end of the spectrum. Like if there's a billionaire in the room, look at Jeff Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out, he has a group of people around him, his entourage or whatever. He doesn't carry any kind of money whatsoever. He doesn't carry any credit cards, he doesn't carry any cash, he doesn't have any, crypto, nothing. But he walks around with these people and everything he gets is free. This is something that Andrew Tate talked about. He was like, everything in the world for Jeff Bezos is free. If he wants a Starbucks, somebody in entourage is paying for it. If he wants the limo to charter him from A to B, someone in entourage is paying for it. If he wants the helicopter to take him from C to D, right? Someone else is paying for it. Everything in that man's life is free. And it's like the more money you make, the more wealth you manage to accumulate, the less money you actually spend. Isn't that crazy?
Now we're about to get to the little nooks and crannies of it. We're pulling down a layer. So shout out to Miss Globe Girl. She says so.
My favorite sailor.
She says so. It's acceptable for Red Pill, we'll say the community, Red Pill and Tate take advantage of men who may not know the ways of the world and pimp language, all under the guess or guidelines of trying to help them? ? Is that the belief? ? Prey on the weak? ?
Okay, here's the thing. In this world, this is me talking, this is not the Red Pill. The way I came up, right? You got 2 types of people, right? You got predator and prey. And I hate to say it that way. We want to really break it down to its basic elements. You got predator and you got prey, right? Tate is feeding on these guys, but so are the OnlyFans girls. They're feeding on these guys. So is the government. They're feeding on these people, right? Certain things you can't control. We can't control taxes. You can only control it to a certain extent and all that kind of stuff. But certain things you can absolutely control. Consuming corn, Corn Hub and all that other kind of stuff, consuming OnlyFans, somebody's running your pockets. So is it right that people like Tate and some of these other people are doing this thing? You could argue no. You know what I mean? Some will argue, yeah. I'm like, look, you're a responsible grown-up. If you're gonna give somebody $50,000, don't come crying to me later because they lied to you. That's what you get. You didn't do your due diligence. I'm not a member of Hustlers University. I'm not a member of the War Room, right? But at the same time, next year I might become a member of the War Room, depending on how this case goes, because that's a networking opportunity, and that's going to get me closer to some people, and get more. Again, now it comes into money. Now more people are talking to me. It might be worth the investment if I can invest $6,000, and that's going to make me, $30,000. But like just keeping it 100 though, sis. I wouldn't do what he's doing, and I'm not going to take like that, but I'm not going to knock anybody who does.
Yeah, but do we like? Should that be the goal though? Because I'm on the opposite end of that. Like, I don't feel like I need to level myself up to go. The goal be like, hey, let me go to the war room because I've seen it through Vice, and then again, just the idolization of one man that's not a doctor, that haven't sacrificed himself, that's not a therapist, that's not somebody that actually really adventured in the world. Because even your words, you said yourself, like, he's a street dude, but he wasn't a street dude in a way like, what, let me give back to the community. From what I see him as a street dude, like, yo, let me finesse 5 of the women, leave from one country to my residence, get coerce or convince them to do a webcam business, and then let me just start making money off of them. Now, he did tell story on Fresh and Fit, like one of them leave and whatever, his Tatey way, one of them leave. So now he down to 4. So he's like, let me keep them until build the money up. Then I'll slowly start going from there, aka use 1 or not 2 of his bottom Bs, So
well, that whole thing, like, because you brought this up a couple of times. You talk about when he left UK and they went to Romania. The story behind that, right? You know why he left UK?
Well, there was articles speaking of it that he had some other stuff pending in the States, but I don't know if that's true. So I really don't want
the United Kingdom, not the US, but like, he was living in London. Right, he was doing good. He had his cam business, his first business. He and his brother was doing.
Yeah.
They were doing it out of London, right? So one of the women who was like the top earner of the cam business, right? Because he talked about it. He was like, man, it's exhausting. It's certain things you have to do when you have these women working for you or working with you on this cam thing and this and that. You can't really show preference. You have to be stern. It's a business first, relationship second, all that kind of stuff, right? And again, coming from someone who, I've had my share of women, I understand what he's talking about. This is why I could never do anything like that. There's no way I'm gonna try to manage something like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. So one of the women, they were celebrating, they made a lot of money or whatever, they were celebrating. One of the women, the top earner, got too drunk. She got out of pocket. She like spilled stuff everywhere. She vomited or whatever. And he was like, you're gonna have to clean that up. And she didn't want to clean it up. And then she gets into, getting mouthy at him and talking all this stuff because she's jealous of the other girls and all this other stuff's going on. So he's like, you got to go. He puts her out, throws all of her stuff out. He puts her out.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to law enforcement and she said that he beat her, that, he was trafficking her and all the rest of it. Kind of real similar to what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Real similar to, Romania. So he spent, I don't know, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of, $500,000 and a handful of years, 5-6 years, just trying to clear his name. He was arrested. I guess a different legal system. He got arrested. He was allowed to make bail. They came and they seized all of his equipment. Just a long story boring. They dropped the charges because she came back and said none of that really happened. She's like, I'm sorry, I was just mad. None of that happened. But
yeah,
because
keep in mind though, because I remember that story because that was the first fit. But he also said when that incident happened, he said 4 months later they came knocking his door, and then when they came knocking his door, he exaggerated and said, "Oh, he was flushing stuff down the toilet, he's throwing stuff out the window, stuff trying to get rid of evidence." So
4 months later they came back for him because they went through all of the video evidence that they had taken initially. They took all his stuff. They took all his equipment, they took all of his drives, they took all his stuff, right? And they went through that. And then they came back and they had new charges, which will never stand in America because our justice system is different. But over there, and then he had to fight that case. And it took, like I said, just total time, I don't know, 5-6 years or whatever, over $500,000. And he was able to clear his name. All that was because of a woman who lied. Right? She made a false accusation.
But to be fair though, this is the top G, the one who keeps saying he's brilliant. So if he's so brilliant,
absolutely. And he said it's my fault. Again, he was like, I made a move on the plane. I made a move on the chessboard that got me in that position. He owned it, right? He's like, yeah, it is what it is. So when they went to Romania, he was saying he met some people and they were asking questions. He was like telling the story. And they're like, well, that would never happen here in Romania. And he was like, what? Like, she accused me of beating her. She accused me of doing this. All like, he's like, this is how it works. You have to prove it by this much time. You got da. And he and his brother were like, oh, this sounds great. And they went to Romania. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this, y'all, right? Why would you want to go to Romania? Because you can buy the system. He said that as well. You know what I mean? Like, well, if I'm going to go somewhere, let me go somewhere where at least I can buy the system, right? So that's what he was thinking. So again, I'm not trying to make him out like, oh man, these guys are like Obama. Nah. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm not trying to say that. But what he dealt with in UK is what he's currently dealing with in Romania. And he's like, man, I thought that I wouldn't have to deal with this. But because Romania could be bought, there's always going to be somebody with more money. So Tate's doing what he's doing, but other people coming in with even bigger money. So if you're in a system like that where it could be bought, you got a problem. You want at least something that's kind of maybe close to some real justice. You know what I mean? America's probably the best you're going to get. And our system is tore up, which we all know. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, but at least here you know the rules and regulations. If I'm speeding, I know what I'm going to get out of it if I get caught.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Planet. Pussy is the only reason that empires were started and wars were waged. So pussy is the most important driving force of this planet. Pussy is the only reason that empires were started and wars were waged. It's the only reason all you guys are out there are even interested in having money. If there was no pussy about, you wouldn't care about having money. You say, oh, I'll have a little bit of money and I'll just play chess all day. I don't care. I'll play video games. The only reason we want cars and clothes and six packs and houses and shit is for girls. Girls are the driving force. So when I realized I had all these assets, I had to find a way to monetize the assets. I knew some street pimps. I've known them for a long time. Straight street pimping is completely, in fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same of what we're going to do. The skill I'm going to teach you is exactly the same. I could easily translate mine to a street business, and you could easily street pimp with the things I'm going to teach you. But I didn't want no one else fucking my girl. That's the truth. My girls. I want to fuck my girls. I want some other guy fucking my girls. What the fuck's the point in that? So, long story short, blah, 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 blah. Discovered webcam and went from there. Flew all 5 girls in at once, sat them all down. So I've been going out with all of you. Here's the truth. Starting a business, you want to make money or not. 2 decided to stay. 3 started crying, got back on the plane because they're all different places in the world. I had them for when I was fighting. So I went and fought in Slovakia, got a girlfriend. Went and fought in France, got a girlfriend. Went and fought. So I had all the girls around the world. So I told them all to fly in, sat them all down together. Like, who the fuck are all these other girls? I was like, okay, truth time. Bang. I'm going to start a business. You're all going to live here with me. 3 got back on the plane. 2 decided to stay. 2 weeks later, 1 left. And so I was left with 1. But starting with.
All right. Now, at this point, this is where we get to, I feel like the conversation at the end with Suzette Speak. So the girl he's speaking of, one of them, because I remember when the allegation came of him being arrested in December, one of the girls that was originally his girl that was an allegation with them two that he hit her, and she was one of the girlfriends working for the webcam business. I believe that's the girl is the one that was the youngest one that he was courting / dating, that she was 15. He was like 30, 32 at the time. Now that's where we come in that conversation on Suzette Speak. So I don't know if you heard anything about that.
No, I mean, like I said, there was a story that I read on BBC. You know, I think it was one of their publications. It wasn't like something you can watch. It wasn't a video. I actually read it. And it was, you know, it was them accusing the Tate brothers of trying to talk to girls in high school who were like 15, 16, 17 years old. And somewhere in Eastern Europe, I forget exactly where, it was Romanian in some other country, Moldova or something like that. So I'm like, damn, is that even a place? I had to pull out a map. You know what I mean? So I heard that, but I didn't, what we're talking about here, no. Like if he's engaged with a 15-year-old girl and he's a 30-something-year-old man, that's absolutely horrific. Now, the story he's telling about the cam girl business, this happened years and years ago, and this occurred in London. They stopped the cam girl business when they left London. So that was another thing when they were talking about, well, they were running this cam girl thing in Romania. Allegedly, that is not true. And that's one of the reasons why that part of the case is like, that's already fallen off, right? But they continue with the human trafficking thing. But the cam girl thing, they don't even, if he was running a cam girl business with this particular case, with all information they had leaked, they would have had the cam girl footage. It would have been out already, right? And the allegations came from a girl who lives in Miami, who's back in Miami now, by the way, and another woman from, again, that country, Moldova or whatever. So I want to be explicitly clear here. If he's messing with a 15-year-old anywhere on planet Earth and he's 30-something years old at the time or whatever, then or now, nah, man, that's absolutely horrific. And if I find that to be true, I definitely got words for bro. You know what I mean? And it won't, you know, I got words for bro. Like, yeah, you a smooth talker, but ain't no way, it's no talking your way out of that. You know what I mean? And I don't care where you from. You know what I mean? That's going to make your time harder. in anybody's prison. You in here for doing what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, that's where I'm like, I don't know about that, bro. Miss Glow Girl's going in, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah, that's how pimps operate, straight out of Iceberg Slim's book. Hey, I ain't mad at you, shorty. In this world, we are either you are pimping or you being pimped. And that goes all the way from the highest CEOs to president of the land, you know, any elected official, they all getting pimped. And certainly down here, we're getting pimped. You know what I mean? Who's doing the pimping? You know what I'm saying? The 1%.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe. He says he had a lot of very informational stuff. He says Romania was the human trafficking capital of the Soviet Union. He was facing insiders from the former Soviet Union. He also goes to say that in Romania and the surrounding countries, 15-year-olds is 18 plus in the West. I agree. Which again, for me, because I know a lot of people don't understand this, because even with what's his name, when we covered the Tinder swindler, and how he was doing his things, but somehow people was having conversations about how certain ages is in certain countries. So people have to understand it too. And for me, when I see an adult, I'm talking about like 18, 19, 21, but I think of 21 and over that's dating or trying to mess with a 16, 15 younger. To me, I think of sick, but also understand, because it's like it's levels, right? When I hear certain people say back in the day, that's what they was doing. You had grown men had their daughters pushed off to a grown man for either as a form of payment or a unity with the family, or say, hey, well, I need sons or grandsons in the family to make that family dynamic. That's what they was doing. Or now, and Dio can correct me wrong on this one, even now, the age limit in other countries is like less than, it's like 15, 16, 17. Now here in the States, the youngest that I seen when it was had a conversation about this, I think it was like 17, maybe 16, but 16 is like, you got to get a parent to co-sign on that. Like, okay, this is a person adult, they live in my house, so they're a legal adult to work, get a car, have their own place, so they may be able to marry or court or date somebody else, you know, in certain states. And that's the lowest is 17. But in other countries, the lowest I've seen was 15.
Yes. I mean, when you're talking about age of consent, right? So the way I look at it is, you know, I put it into two categories, right? There's legal age of consent, and then there's a moral age of consent, right? So, and I think that's what you're talking about here. Like, okay, yeah, you know, there's some states in this country. I want to say that the legal age of consent on some of the books are still 16. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's a push to change that. So the legal age of consent could be 16, but I don't care. Morally, you do. This is 2023, right? And you were like, well, people say back in the day. What do they mean? Yesterday? Because I was in the Middle East. This is going on right now. You know what I mean? So like you said, there are layers to it, but I don't care where you are. You know, we're talking about Andrew Tate. We're talking about a guy who was born in America, raised in the UK, right? No, I don't care. If you out here looking at the age of consent in different countries because you want to get a child, man, I got a problem with that. It may not be illegal where you're doing it, but I'm with you. Like, man, it's something up here. But there are Americans in America getting married to children. There are grown men getting married to 14, 15, 16-year-olds right here in America, right? And they do it under the guise of religious exceptions and exemptions and things of this nature. No, correct, bro. That's absolutely wrong. There is no wiggle room. Now, are there guys in the red pill? Let's say that, you know, in a make-believe world that this happened, right? Let's say that this is true. He was, you know, messing with or whatever, a youngin'. Are there going to be a lot of dudes in the red pill space going to, well, it was the age of consent. Well, it was this. Well, he had permission from the parents. Well, I'm not doing that. That's not going to rock with me. Like, bro, you a straight up weirdo. Like, you calling these bottom dwellers a weirdo and you doing this? You doing this and you worth all this money, man? What's wrong with you? I see you like I see Willie. What's the name of that guy? Woody Allen. He did it and got away with it. It was wrong. You know what I mean? Who else did it? Messing with young people. Like, you know, I can't sit here and name them all. Elvis Presley did it. You got all these people walking around today talking about, oh, it was okay and it was this and that. Well, they really wasn't doing nothing. Like, man, she was a child. He was the king of rock and roll.
Yeah, R. Kelly's another one. He was doing it for like 20-something years.
R. Kelly.
The biggest one.
Them the ones. So yeah, it's always gonna be people who gonna want to, kind of support that whatever, in the red pill or whatever. But I'm not one of those people.
All right, fair enough. But okay, so let me dive into the meat of it. So where is it? And again, guys, if you're new, I appreciate the if you hit the subscribe button. Again, any donations at 8 p.m. Central Time, we will be discussing marital standards. Shout out to let me get my ugly face in here because I know I'm ugly. It will be at 8 p.m. Central Time where we'll be discussing marital standards. Shout out to Adam 22, where Adam 22 is sacrificing and showing his love to his 7-year girlfriend. Just recently got married to her, and he made the sacrifice for the love of his newly born wife, where he decided to say, "Hey, you are okay to go on P-Hub and have the best time of your life and make the money with Gorillazilla, whatever his name is, and I'm okay with it, honey. I'm okay with my wife doing that." So we're gonna have that.
He is not. That's a lie and a half. He saw that monster machine come out of dude's pants. He is not happy, man. Her spine ain't been right since, bro. And she can't wait to do it again.
So we will have that conversation at 8 p.m. Central Time. Reacting to that, everybody views and take on it. It's going to be a group conversation. DL Saint is more than welcome to jump in for that conversation. Yeah. Also, Inky will be there. She will explain where her causes that she donate money to, and any super chats that's donated to the Grey Pill Podcast right now will be sent directly to Inky, and then at 8 p.m. Central, whatever information she have for y'all guys to donate there will go straight to her. Okay, and then we'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sister Inky's right. You know what I mean? They want to make excuses for their bad behavior, facts, and you know what? People are making. I'm hearing a lot of excuses for Cardi B. Cardi B got on camera and said, "Yeah, I used to rob dudes, get them drunk, dudes set them up. I did this and do that." And there's a lot of people making excuses for her, and that's my thing.
I agree.
That's my thing right there. If this is true about Andrew Tate, and that's horrible, that's horrific, the same holds true for Cardi B. So, and again, like the young kids like to say, I want to see equal energy given to both situations. Y'all, there's a lot of people out here talking about Cardi B, this and that, and whatever. Exploitation, pimping. She got all these people listening to her music, talking about be a city girl, go out here and do this and get your back blown out and da. It's about me. I don't need no man. But what does she have? She has a husband that she loves, admires, and respects, that she cooks for whenever he wants a sandwich. You know what she does? She gets her ass up and makes him a sandwich. She takes care of her kids and she's loving her life. But then she's going to turn around and sell a losing strategy to a lot of women out here, a lot of young women. So when I had these conversations, I'm like, yo, y'all, you know what I mean? I'm unplugged. I see it. I'm looking at the code, just like in the background of this picture right here. I see the green and black. I see the code. You know what I mean? And I accept it. It is what it is. Should Cardi B be held accountable for committing crimes, robbing these dudes, being a stripper and lying to them and setting them up and robbing them? Should she be held account to that? She should. And if we're not going to hold her account to that, then fine. You know what I mean? Y'all might as well go ahead and let the tapes out right now. You know what I mean? Y'all might as well do it. And these dudes who be getting accused of doing all this stuff, we should just stop that right now. Right? Both are equally horrific. And that's all I'm saying. I know the difference between right and wrong. Y'all know the difference between right and wrong. At least some of you older ones, you young ones, I don't know. You know what I mean? But y'all should know the difference between right and wrong. And when you get caught, man, you got to sit down and do it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That's what I live by. You know what I mean? And don't go crying and snitching when you get caught.
I agree. All right. So here's the video in question. Where 1 second.
Grey Pill got somebody locked in the basement, man. Watch the audio, man.
It's summertime. It's summertime and kids. You know how that goes. Summertime and kids.
It's the 4th of July, bro. I know they're gonna do what they do.
Oh man.
Girls who say, "Oh, I know you're with Vivian. I know you've been with her a long time. I don't mind. I'll stay out tonight. You two stay alone." All that shit, but it never lasts long because the ones who are really in love with you won't do that. You actually have to downplay your relationship with the girl of 6 years, which is difficult. And I only get away with that because the girl of 6 years plays along. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. And we met and we felt whatever. We're in love. But when a new girl comes, she'll go, oh yeah, I started off working for him, and it's just how it worked out. She'll super downplay us. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28. Vivian's like 21. Vivian's younger. She's more fun, more outgoing. Melissa's really quite, not in a bad way. She's more homey, boring.
Lost your audio, bro. Great Pill, you still there? All right, looks like we lost audio. I'm a freestyle until he.
No,
okay,
I'm good, sir. So this is the moment right here where Andrew Tate saying that Vivian is 21, and he also mentions about like 5-6 years ago when he met her. He's going to go in detail from that, and it's another content creator actually breaks it down a little bit more in depth. The timetable. So this is where she is.
So what we're doing here, just so I'm clear, what we're doing here, someone just did the math. He's telling the story, and he's like, "I'm quite a bit older," and somebody just did the math, and it turned out that okay, she must have been 15.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. All right. So let me continue.
Sits at home. So if you're going to pair a girl with a girl, it's much easier if the girl's fun. So a description of your relationship process with Vivian. So yeah, that's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. It's a really long story. I don't want to tell you the whole story. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company, which I started. If you don't have a webcam company, you need to look into it because as soon as you have a couple girls in love with you, it's the fucking easiest money in the world. No, I take that back. It's not easy money. You got to build it up. But once you get girls built up, then it's free money. Like every other business, you got to build it up. But I decided I want to start a webcam business. Vivian's beautiful. I said, look, stop being a waitress. Come here, live with me. She came. Everything was fine for a couple of weeks. Melissa obviously lived in England. They didn't know about each other. They found out. They tried to have a big argument with me. I did exactly as I said, downplayed it, didn't give a shit. Everyone moved in together. Everyone started doing webcam. I was making loads of money. Then we agreed to the split, like we said. And that's basically been it. Since then, new girls have come along. Vivian understands that I'm fucking these hoes, but I don't care about these hoes.
How to open your car door when you're trapped underwater. A lethal.
All
right, we'll wait to the
commercial's over. You can skip it.
Yeah, no, it won't let you skip from that. So we'll let it play out from there. But that is the point at that moment right there where he's talking about it. Okay, there you go. I don't know what that was. Okay, I'll find it back. But yeah, so that's pretty much where it goes from there. And I'll let you can react to that.
Pretty much we're saying, because he was saying he was X. I was X amount years old, and I was this many years older. She was this many years younger than me. Someone took the information and was like, okay, she was 16 or 15 or 16 or whatever it was. Okay. Again, based on that, I'm like, bro, that's pretty flimsy. You really gonna need, and again, hey y'all, listen, I'm not defending it. If he's a 30-plus-year-old dude and he's in a relationship with a 15 or 16-year-old, he's a weirdo, he's a sicko. I don't care what the legal age of consent is in whatever country they're talking about and how that works with crossing borders, you know what I mean, and getting into a country. If you knowingly engage with a woman that's a child, you got a problem. And once you find out, bro, you got to step away. Yeah, that's just too young. However, with respect to what I just saw, come on, man. Like he's telling his story. Somebody's doing the numbers. They're doing the math, and they're like, oh, according to this math, well, she's 16, right? So all right, like, did he say the right things? Being someone who's on YouTube, I'm out here doing, a podcaster. I'll say things and I'll watch my video back, and I'm like, oh, I misspoke there. I didn't know I said that. Damn, that came out wrong, or this, that, and the third. Again, I'm not defending him, but what I'm hearing is really weak. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he was doing the video when he was like,
fair enough. We can continue. Fair enough. We can continue. Hold on. All right. Let's
so far, what I've seen is pretty weak.
All right. Fair enough. We get back to Vivian.
So a description of your relationship process with Vivian. So yeah, that's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. It's a really long story. I don't want to tell you the whole story. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company, which I started. If you don't have a webcam company, you need to look into it, because as soon as you have a couple girls in love with you, it's the fucking easiest money in the world. No, I take that back. It's not easy money. You got to build it up. But once you get girls built up, then it's free money. Like every other business, you got to build it up. But I decided I want to start a webcam business. Vivian's beautiful. I said, look, stop being a waitress. Come here, live with me. She came. Everything was fine for a couple of weeks. Melissa obviously lived in England. They didn't know about each other. They found out. They tried to have a big argument with me. I did exactly as I said, downplayed it, didn't give a shit. Everyone moved in together. Everyone started doing webcam. I was making loads of money. Then we agreed to the split, like we said. And that's basically been it. Since then, new girls have come along. Vivian understands that I'm fucking these hoes, but I don't care about these hoes.
How to open your car door when you're trapped underwater. A lethal design.
Man, if you drive your car in the water and you find yourself underwater, you got problems. You got problems. You probably drunk. So whatever they about to say in that commercial is not going to apply to you. You ain't going to be able to figure it out. You ain't going to be able to. You got problems.
I love how the algorithm gets you the right commercials. It has nothing to do with nothing.
Nothing to do with nothing. If you find yourself underwater in your car, what do? Pray. That's what you do. You pray. Oh my goodness.
All right. Shout out to the commercials.
So a description of your relationship process with Vivian. So yeah, that's how in Slovakia, we had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I looked at a timestamp. That was it. It was a minute and 50 seconds of that one. Here's the guy. Yeah, that was for that one. So here's the one with the guy that actually did the breakdown of it. He goes by the Willie Mack Show. I don't know if you heard of him.
No.
All right. Well, I find it. So
I'm a bad YouTuber, bro. They be asking me, you know this person, that person? I'm like, no.
I guess I'll be diving deep. I'm like the type of person, if I see like a great movie or something, I'm checking out all the cast members, the directors, the writers. Like I want to know it all. So but yeah.
Oh man, we got to one of these days we got to talk about Indiana Jones, bro. I know we can't do it now, but you got to tell me what you're thinking about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the genre. So I got opinions about the new one. All right, so I'm gonna let you chime in real quick if you don't mind, and I'm going ahead and back out and come back in because one of the windows is frozen. So I will be
okay. Yeah, I got it.
back.
I got it.
Appreciate you.
So yeah, man, we taking over this joint, pimp. Where you going, pimp? This mine now. This mine now. Welcome to the Grey Pill. We've been infiltrated by DL Saint. I really want to know podcast. We up in this piece, people. I'm just joking, man. Thanks for all of the engagement in the chat, man. I see y'all, man. Man, Grey Pill got some great mods over here. Y'all fire over here. You know what I mean? I see my people in the chat. Sexy Red, I see you. Like I said, Lady Navor is over here. My favorite sailor's in the house, Miss Globe Girl. Listen, y'all. It is one of my bucket list requests to meet Miss Globe Girl in person one of these days and have a conversation. She might beat me up, y'all. She might beat me up. Me and her be doing like this. They say Army and Navy don't mix, but I think if I try hard enough and if I eat my Wheaties, y'all, I think Miss Globe Girl will sit down and have a ice cream with me or something down there. You know what I mean? Maybe she'll meet me in Miami or something. You know what I mean? But for us YouTubers, yo, for real, it's our supporters, man. Like, they say call you subscribers. Now I call you supporters. Our supporters, man, they push us along. They keep us going. I was sick. And I was sick, y'all. I hit a hiccup, a health hiccup, and I was down for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, it was bed rest. I couldn't do nothing, right? It was all about blood pressure, y'all. Make sure y'all be checking y'all blood pressure. Make sure y'all be staying up on y'all health, y'all. Especially if you're older, if you're in your 50s like me. Make sure you really stay up on your health. Make sure you take your meds. So I was down for 2 weeks. And my supporters were hitting me up, man. They were on Instagram. They were talking to each other like, yo, where's Saint at? Where's Saint? People like he calling, you know what I mean, making sure I was okay because I normally go live every single day. Like every day I'm like doing something. I posted something, if not on my platform, on somebody else's platform. But here's the thing. My supporters were looking out for me. You know what I mean? So this is a family. And one of the things I truly plan to do, especially my day one supporters, the people who've been with me from day one, I plan to meet each and every one of them personally. personally. I mean, I have, like I say it all the time on my platform, I work hard. Like we get the bread in. It's not to get money. I don't need money to go out and pay for stuff. Everything I do on YouTube, I want to reinvest into the platform. But I want to meet all of my day ones. I got ideas for stuff. I got gifts. I want to give them all of my day ones because I'm telling you, man, it is the supporters that really at least push me. I don't know how Grey Pill feels about it, but y'all ain't subscribers to me. Y'all are supporters. And then Miss Glow Girl's like, I don't fight with men, but we'll see. I'm telling you, girl, we're going to meet in person. We're going to have some ice cream or we're going to have some, whatever you want. We're going to get you whatever you want. And then we're going to get you to actually come onto the platform. And we're going to get to hear straight from you. You know what I mean? Your opinion, because I tell you what, Miss Globe Girl be making me think, y'all. And I appreciate people who push back. I don't have an echo chamber on my platform. And from what I can see here, it's not an echo chamber here. And this is where you grow. This is where you learn. Grey Pill is back. What's good, pimp? But he can't hear me. I don't think he can hear me. So can you hear me, player?
No, I hear you. I was letting you I was letting you conversate. Yeah, I hear you. I just let you conversate.
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah,
I don't do this all day.
Yeah, we definitely. No, you're good. Yeah, we definitely don't. We don't echo chamber over here neither. It's a genuine conversation. I don't force it on nobody. Pretty much on my. I'll just be the conversation that should be.
You were breaking up.
I'm actually blessed. I'm actually blessed and surprised because. Okay, can you hear me now? We're good.
You're good, but you good now? Yeah, you good
now. Test these 1 2 3. Test these 1 2 3.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a connection thing.
Okay.
I don't know if you're on.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like. What about now?
You good? Yeah. You're good. Every time I say you're good, it's a little bit of a lag. Yeah, you're good. You're good. 100.
Yeah, I think you're jinxing me. I don't know, but yeah, I think I'm low key. I'm saying blessed and lucky at the same time because a lot of the new supporters that comes in here is either all content creators or just all like regular YouTubers. Like, yo, I just do regular content. They're not trying to do the bells and whistles of YouTube, to try to build the algorithm, whatever. I don't know. I might become a divester. I might, go ahead and for my Canada, because my Canadians, boy, they are the best supporters ever. I don't want to knock everybody else off the fence, but I don't know. My Canadians, when they roll in with the most biggest positive, how they do in the chat. So I appreciate everybody in the space. And for me, when I came here, I never want to do live. I just want to do like pre-uploads and just do my thing and go. And but what I learned through this whole year is networking is fun. Networking is fun. You meet a lot of very interesting and intellectual people, good or bad, and the things they say is like have you like, whoa. So I appreciate everybody, all my subscribers. That's pretty much what I work hard for. Heck, and I'm a sucker for a thumbnail. So I might take a whole hour on a thumbnail. But if I might not even like your content. But if I see a good thumbnail, I might just drop some bottles in your comment just for the thumbnail.
Hey, bro, I got to get you on my platform.
So I appreciate all your guys.
I got to get you on my platform. I don't care what we talk about, but I got to get you so I can get you back for that thumbnail, bro. I'm saying I got to get you on my platform, man, just so I can get you back with a thumbnail.
That's how you get content.
I see.
All right, so here's the guy that did the timestamps.
I was shaking my head like, oh, he got
you know what? I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, he said some things. Yeah, I was like, he's saying some things. I was like, I don't know. Let's see how this conversation goes. I don't know. But we pretty much agree. Like, honestly, I think we're agreeing on the same things. It's just the little nuances of how stuff goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you rock with them, but you're breaking out stuff like you see. I personally don't rock with him because I'm seeing stuff he said. Like, I just couldn't. If I heard somebody say this live in 4K or just out in public, you couldn't been around my girlfriend. You couldn't been around my wife. You couldn't been around any female women in my life. Like, matter of fact, I would be like stranger danger with them. Like, yo, you need to watch out for that one because he might say some finessing words. Like, don't walk. If you see him with a Bugatti, that's that guy you need to walk away from. Just be careful. Matter of fact, be careful of. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I see it. But here's the guy that actually did the breakdown the video, and then you can stop at any time and we can kind of hash it out there, and then we'll just do closing it. Definitely solutions, because we're big here in solutions. All right, so if anybody never checked him out, Willie Mac Show. So shout out to him.
To view the charges levied against Andrew Tate and compare it to the evidence that was already publicly available. And what we found was some self-snitching for hours on end, selling an online course for how to traffic women for hundreds of dollars.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me.
And then once when he was arrested in late 2022, he started hiding the evidence, lying in interviews.
Have said my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
No, I've never said that.
And even going as far as hiding pages and removing his website from the Wayback Machine. I'm not one who normally agrees with Sneeko, but I might this one time.
I've always said this on my stream. If they hide it, then it's the truth. If they have to delete it, then it's the truth.
Then Sneeko
Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
If they hide it, it's the truth part.
Yeah,
I mean,
in the context, in that context.
Yeah, I mean, I get. If you feel you got to go back and scramble, I mean, it depends. You know that's something like. Nah, I'm not 100% on board with that, but I will say this, and and I've said this on my platform. Like, Brother Tate messed up, going back saying I didn't say these things. I'm like, bro, come on now. Because I was watching that BBC, I'm like, nah, bro, you said that. You know what I mean? Like, he's been on different platforms when he first broke into the mainstream media. I'm like, yeah, bro, you did say that, and you did say that. Now, there's some other things out there. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. That was a clip and this and that. But I'm like, come on, bro, you did say this stuff, man. I mean, obviously he did. The old boy got the text right there. So like, come on, Tate. You know what I mean? But again,
yeah, people were speaking very highly of Hustles University, and he removed that. And he claimed that he didn't do it.
Well, they redid it. I think they renamed it or rebranded it. It was either Hustlers or the War Room. They pulled it down and they redid it, so it's still up and running. And the stuff that he says this too, the stuff that they teach you in Hustlers University, allegedly, I'm not in there, but I've talked to people who were in there. There's nothing there that you can't learn on your own. Nothing. But he put this product out there and people out there paying it.
There's some strange stuff on the original first before it got revived on the first Hustler University. Just saying.
You know better than me, but I'm just saying it. Yeah. I think that he could put out complete trash and people would buy it.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I still agree.
Right? Am I mad at him for doing it? No. Go ahead.
Fair enough.
All of this information is available in my previous video, so if you're out of the loop, that's the place to catch up. And now even more charges have been levied against the Tate in the form of money laundering and trafficking minors. And guess what? He is 100% guilty. How do I know this? Because he won't stop self-snitching. It's all over his $337 course on running a webcam business. So let's start with the new charges. Tate, the Romanian Directorate for the Investigation of Organized Crime and Terrorism, has now brought 3 more charges to the Tates, that being crimes of money laundering, favoring the perpetrator, influencing statements, and trafficking minors. Now, this was translated from Romanian, and so I want to address the translation error. Google Translate converts the statement to, "This case was ordered to be dismissed when it comes to these new charges." Tate fans have been proudly spewing this all over the internet, but that's simply not true.
I don't know. That has me thinking of the Tate's fans for real. That's literally how I see them.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't mad at you. Like, yeah, there's some dude, like I said, they're bottom dwellers, man. The majority of them, man. And I don't, I don't say that as I'm trying to motivate them. Like, I got to do better. You know what I mean? So this guy, like, I don't know who this guy is. But this is a dude, you know what I mean? Okay, anti, Andrew Tate, anti, Fresh and Fit, anti whoever, right? These dudes are doing the YouTube thing. He just, clickbait, trying to do whatever.
So you're saying all of his lie? You saying everything he just spewing out right now?
I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm just saying the motive behind it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying it's a lie. Right. And like
to be fair, there's always going to be an anti anybody out there in the space. So that doesn't make. Yeah, so that doesn't negate the fact that if he's giving out actual facts.
Well, there are no facts here, and that's the kind of thing a lot of people need to remember. Like, you gotta say allegedly. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here are the charges that were added.
Well, he's pretty much. Well, that's why I think this is how I feel at this point in time. From up to the 1 minute 40, I think like everything Andrew Tate is saying, he's pretty much showing the opposite of what it is.
Right.
Like,
he's gonna rebut. Yeah, he's gonna rebut everything Tate's saying.
Correct. If you're saying your shirt is like blue and I'm showing you like, no, it's red. It's like, okay, one of us is lying.
Right.
Okay.
Or there's some filters. One of us lying. Right?
Yeah, you good. You good.
True. It's just that the specific Romanian word doesn't have a direct translation from Romanian to English, so it incorrectly translates to dismissed. This is a common legal phrase used in Romania for when the prosecution is trying to separately investigate and charge the individual, instead of resolving it together in a single case. This phrase is used in Romanian court all the time. Feel free to look it up yourself. But the charges are coming, and Andrew Tate is definitely guilty of at least one of those things, that being trafficking minors. Or as far as Andrew admits, one minor, that being Tate's bottom bitch, Vivian.
You, your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear it from a girl. And this is why your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl. My first girl was so good, it was easy. And your whole business has to be built off the back of your bottom bitch. So if you have a girl in mind and you're already fucking her, picture
Vivian along with
All right, now this is the first girl he's talking about. Is Vivian. Two, the question is asked to DL. So from what he just said, do you equate that to pimp mentality? Because that sounds like pimp strategy right there.
All of it. Come on, I mean, we don't even go back to that. All this is pimping.
Okay.
But I'm sitting here thinking about Andrew Tate said he had this woman he met in Slovakia or wherever he met her, somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He was living in England at the time. He was living in London. He brought this woman to London that's allegedly a minor, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this is just how I'm looking at it. And again, we'll see how this plays out. But if this were true, he would have been extradited to England weeks ago or whenever this dropped, long before they made. He would have been extradited because the crime took place in England. And you're talking about human trafficking, so that kind of gets up to another level because all these countries work together. They would have put together a task force. He would have been sent to London, and within the England judicial system, it would have absolutely stuck. Why? Because you got evidence of her coming from another country, going through customs, this, that, and the third. And if she didn't go through customs, that's like a whole nother, pile of problems. So, bro, again, I'm just, maybe because I'm older, maybe because I've seen a lot of people dealing with different legal systems, like here in America, here in Japan, in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
South Korea, Germany. I've seen Saudi Arabia. I've seen how some of these other systems work. I find it really hard to believe that this is, they made the accusation and they threw the charge on there, but that's man. It's like accusing me of harboring a Venetian. Like, what? Venetians don't even exist. Nah, you harboring a Venetian, bro. We're gonna go ahead and charge you with it, which they can, and they can indict me for it. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a stretch.
I think I agree to the last part you said, but in the beginning, I believe again, like the statute of limitations for me with this moment, right? If you say if she left, sure, they have documents and record that because you can't just like whatever with a passport. Like it's you going crossing the state, crossing the borders. So at that point in time, I feel like if she would have made a complaint or report then something would have came up. But the fact that, again, his words like, hey, she was really good at her job. This happened over years. And now in the last earlier video that we saw, that he actually stated that she's 21 at that time. So she's already years into this whole hustling bottom B, he's a top G thing, whatever he's portraying at that moment. So it's null and void at this point.
Yes,
but,
yes, but let me push back just a little bit on that.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with human trafficking and you're dealing with NATO nations, right? You're dealing with,
just be clear. I'm not saying that. Let's be clear. I'm not accusing him trafficking her, but what I am accusing him is of him messing with a underage minor, because we just scripted about the legal and the morals, right? So I think morally he dated and courted a 15-year-old at this time, and moving forward, coursing her and molding her to how he wanted to be, and boom, here she is, 21, and there we go. That's what I'm accusing.
So, okay, and I hear you on that. So here's the thing. And again, I'm no legal scholar, guys, and and we're talking about a country I don't even live in, right? I vaguely know UK legal system. I know nothing about Slovakia and Romania and all the rest of it. But if you have a citizen of England who brought in an underage minor to their country to do sex work, let's not get it twisted. Being a stripper, being a cam girl is sex work.
Right? But how would they know that though at that time though? I don't think they would know.
They would know. Here's the thing. The footage is still out there. It wouldn't be hard to prove. You can certainly prove that you brought a minor into the United Kingdom,
Mhm.
customs records. There's no getting around that. So if she was
Okay.
16 years old and she's traveling from Slovakia, wherever she is, into the United Kingdom, and she doesn't have her parents, so he's going to have to sign some sort of guardianship, right? They just don't turn you loose in the country if you're a minor, right? That we see that in America on the border all the time when they get unaccompanied minors coming across the U.S. border. Now, I know that's U.S. law, but when it comes to this sort of thing, the laws are kind of similar. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you know. But if you're an unaccompanied minor and they catch you on a border in America, what they do is they try to find a relative or someone who could be responsible for you until your court date rolls around, when it's time for you to have your hearing for immigration and this, that, and the third. I'm certain that there's something similar in the UK. So if he has this minor that's come into the UK, right, someone has to be responsible for her. So there's a record of that. There's a record of that. So even if you're like, well, she's 21 now and she doesn't want to whatever, no, they're going to tie this as to motive to the being engaged in criminal activity and furtherance of a criminal enterprise. That's what they're going to tie it to, and that's how it comes in. And he would be extradited to England to face those charges, because what they're dealing with in Romania is nothing, and they know it. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. He would be locked up in a English prison right now if that were the case. Now, again, I could be wrong, guys.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I like to I have a sound effect that I use on my platform. Can I use it on your platform, bro? It's
Sure,
enough copyright,
sure.
nothing like that. But I like to think about stuff, right? So this is from the movie. This is from Rock and Roller. You might even recognize this.
Think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
I like to use the old think tank, people. I like to sit back, look at it, and let's, you know me, because I'm unplugged. Let's see, bro. If he was messing with an unaccompanied minor from Slovakia and wherever, in Slodova or whatever the hell he said, and he's a citizen of the United Kingdom. He's an Englishman, and you're gonna tell me that she got through customs without her parents? You're gonna tell me that she's living with him, working in the sex business, and England ain't gonna do anything about it? Stop it. You know what I mean? Come on now, stop it.
Fair enough.
And I'm not. Yeah, don't take this the wrong way, guys. Yes, I do like Andrew Tate, but if he's messing with a minor, bro, he needs to be up under the prison. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, fair enough. Shout out to hello, lady, how you doing? I don't know if you're still here, because I know most people just shoot and chat and dip. But if you're available, we are having a conversation about marital status at 8 p.m. Central Time. You are more than welcome. Miss Ashley, she's actually, which I don't think she actually claimed it. Me and her may have to have a private conversation about that, because I know she's on the manosphere side of the Caucasian persuasion. Okay.
Hey.
So shout out to her. Okay. All right. I'll just give you the information link. So if you're available at 8 p.m. Central Time, I think that's 9 p.m. your time, since you're in good old Florida. So that's what's up.
Hey, I'm in Central Florida. What's up, Shouty?
She on the crazy part of Florida.
That's the whole state. That's the whole state, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, that's the whole state. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie. If they could just dissect Miami, just push it over, I think everybody be good. Miami's a whole nother world.
Yeah, Miami is the same part of Florida, and it's crazy down there. The rest of the state, oh my God, when you start the further north you go and the closer you get to the panhandle, oh Lordy.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. Ashley, it's definitely cam up. It is preferred. I don't pressure nobody for it, but it's preferred. Shout out to Miss Globe Girl again. She said Tate. Oh no, it was something she said. Okay, here it was. It was in contrast to what we was chopping up about. She says, not necessarily. He's on the house arrest and still being processed through a Romanian system. England is up next. Okay.
Yeah. No. And what she's talking about is true. They've been presented with charges in Romania from some lawyers in UK. And it has to do more with, it's not a legal case. It's what's the other case, Kyle? Help me out, y'all, in the chat. When they just go after money, like OJ Simpson was acquitted of the legal case, but they came out after him for the other case.
Tax evasion?
Well, no, but the form of it, like it's like you have legal, and then you have the other term is to do with money. Like they come after you. I can't think of the name right. I'm sorry, guys. It's my old man brain ain't working right now. But it's basically they're going after money. Yeah, it's civil suit. Thank you, Ashley. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, love. It's a civil suit that's been served to the Tates. So but yeah, but you're right, love. Miss Glow Girl. They have come after him, but it's a civil suit, not a legal suit.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, Corey, appreciate you, man. 8 p.m. Central, Corey, if you available. I know you got. I don't know if the holidays for you, man, because I know you do got late night shifts. And again, shout out to Ashley because she's one of them, and she doesn't know this, but it was a time period in her end where she's actually like when I say people read YouTube policies and agreement, and it's people. Like I said, the think tank, people don't think when people start running off the mouth and saying what you can and can't do on YouTube or you act certain ways on YouTube and, the Canadian space, they read everything. Half the stuff, I think I already skimmed past it. They're like, oh, no, here, or they'll just send links or whatever. So I love them for it.
You got to go to subsection C. Like what is a subsection?
Oh yeah, Ashley's another one. She actually did a great breakdown because I was in a space where I don't know if you heard of space. It's not like the beef sector or the blue pill, whatever spaces. This is actually called the bashing sector, where it's like people just go in hardcore. When I say they give out testimonials of doxing to a whole nother degree, it's a whole nother level to it. And people will go out their way to strike their channels just because. Ashley was a victim of that. And Ashley actually did a great breakdown of how to, and she offers templates to people of how to. So I will give her a moment to explain that too when she comes on for 8 p.m. Central Time, because I thought that was something a lot of people need to understand when it comes to YouTube, and people want to strike channels just to be striking it. It's not under the guidelines. It's not under the guidelines of YouTube. Trust me, I got one in chamber that's been going on for a whole year. I am qualified to do that, but I honestly like to keep it up there so people can actually see what type of person this person is. So I'm like, okay, cool, we're good. So moving forward with the video. So I appreciate all your guys. And she said yes. All right, cool. Appreciate you.
One other woman is also being charged in this case because she was playing a key role in trafficking these girls to Romania.
You do when you're in my situation, you have a girlfriend of 6 years and you try and bring a new girl in. You actually have to downplay your relationship with the girl of 6 years, which is difficult. And I only get away with that because the girl of 6 years plays along. So Vivian's been with me 6 years.
Remember this. He's been dating Vivian for 6 years.
She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. And we met and we fell, whatever, we're in love. But when a new girl comes, she'll go, oh yeah, I started off working for him and it's just how it worked out. She'll super downplay us so that the new girl feels like, well, they're just kind of work and sex. And now I'm here and he likes me. And she can believe in her mind that she can be equal. But that's basically how it works. I've got my main bitch, my bottom bitch, Vivian.
But when Tate first pulled her into this business, it turns out she was young.
All right, so at this point, any disagreements, or we're like, all right, cool, keep it moving?
Well, I mean, it's just like I said, bro. Like they're what they're basing this on. I mean, there's no court on the planet that would even consider this. You know what I mean? Like I hear what he's saying. Like he said this and I did the math and she was 16. Like, all right, cool, bro. You know what I mean? What if he's misspoke? Oh, well. And again, he got a 16-year-old from Eastern Europe into the UK. Nah, bro. You through customs, and if he didn't get her through customs, that means he entered illegally, and that's still a problem. And you're Andrew Tate. They're coming to get you. You know what I mean? They're gonna figure out a way to extend the statute of limitations if there is one. Again, we don't know how it works over there. You know what I mean? It's different over here. But yeah, I see where he's going, but I ain't really feeling this. This ain't.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Very young.
Attention retirees.
And next to commercials.
If you're willing.
All right, so while we're getting that, so my response to that, I feel like it's like it's kind of hard to say, but I'm gonna go top of my dome with this one. I feel like it's like we actually have to catch him in the act. Remember that old thing with R. Kelly with Dave Chappelle did the comedy skit? This is the delusionalness of people with R. Kelly. Nobody didn't believe R. Kelly didn't do it. Like he didn't tinkle on the girl. He didn't do anything until like you had to have the 2 pieces of ID. You got to have, R. Kelly's blood relative standing there watching with a mask on and a lawyer. Then it's like, okay, well, maybe sort of whatever. So I feel like this is where it's at this point, the crossroads. Like, okay, he made a mistake of the wording. I don't think you can make a mistake with like, okay, 16, 15, like, oh no. I meant 23.
I feel you. I feel you. Then it boils down to, is he telling the truth? I mean, I get you. I'm not trying to defend him. Again, if he was with a 16-year-old, scumbag. That's beyond weirdo. Scumbag. Now he should be locked up. But was he telling the truth? Right. And again, it would be easy to prove. You think that England, the United Kingdom, is going to be like, yo, you don't think that they looked into that straight away? You don't think MI5 or 6 or whoever the hell they are wasn't looking into that right away? Yo, check that, bro. What's her real name? Especially in a country where everything's filmed, man. Everything is filmed. Whenever I'm walking around in London, I'm like, damn, bro, there are cameras every goddamn where you ain't getting away with nothing. You know what I mean?
The worst.
China's the worst. China's the absolute worst. Japan is real close, but China's the absolute worst because China's doing all sorts of stuff with that information. You know what I mean? But that's another conversation. Like I said, if he's messing with a minor, that's a problem. But if you basing it on these statements, I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying, I don't know, bro.
All right. Fair enough. The commercial's done. I got to re-find it. It skipped over. Again, everybody, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Again, if you're new, please hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the all bell notification. It helps out the algorithm and then some, because what happened with YouTube will unplug you from us, your favorite subscribers, and it's not nice. It's not nice. So definitely, if you don't mind hitting the all bell notification to help us out. Tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time, we will have a great discussion. The topic will be about marital standards. A content creator or whatever you want to call it. I'll give like a great description of him and his title, where he actually a gentleman with his girlfriend for 7 years, where they was both into the flicks industry and decided to get married. Fell in love with her, got on bending knee, did all the I do's, we're great. And then next thing you know, he decides, hey, I want to sacrifice my love to you and go ahead and my wife, my love of my life, I am okay with you going on a one-on-one session with a male P-star. And and he said he was happy with that. He was fine with it. So we're going to have that conversation on marital standards for tonight. We'll have a reaction to it, where we distinction our standards of what marital standards is for you, the individual, and also listen to everybody's perspective of that. So shout out to Andrew Tate for sharing his love and giving an example of what marriage truly is. We love you, Andrew Tate. We love you.
You wildin'.
We love you.
Can believe in her mind that she can be equal. But that's basically how it works. I've got my main bitch, my bottom bitch, Vivian.
But when Tate first pulled her into this business, it turns out she was young, like very young.
Now, this isn't scientific, but
YouTube says, screw me.
Yeah, they don't like you, bro.
We'll wait for the commercial.
Yeah, they don't like
All right, while we wait for the commercials, I want to say, yeah, I know, Corey. I know. I'm cheap, man. This is what I call, this is what a cheap part deal. I'm not paying for this. I'm not coming out of my pocket. If I do, it's going to be 1 month and I'll wait a year later. But I just want to give a thanks again for everybody for coming in and support, just me and DL for the conversation. I'll be honest, I think it's like a friendly Discord with the disagreements like here and there, and I'm fine with that. And I think just give an example of what actual disagreement is supposed to be. So this is a perfect example of what honest discourse is supposed to be. A perfect example of, hey, I agree, you disagree. So this is how it's supposed to be. There's no let me shame DL Saint, shame Grey Pill. Hey, let me find something about him. Like, you might look stupid, dumb stuff like that. No, it's actually it actually shows a common interest of the conversation, and let's hash this out. Let's break it down. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, because and that same here, brother. I really appreciate it. I'm real particular as to who I engage with, who I talk to in real life and on YouTube. There's a guy out there, what's his name, Zorka or something like that. The Red Pill loves this dude. I was in Miami not too long ago. That Zorka guy, right? I was in Miami not too long ago, and I was with Myron. And it was a bunch of us there. Adam from Value Tamer was there. Adam Sosnick was there. Zorka shows up. I'm there. There's a bunch of people there. Man, I tell all these red pill dudes, I'm like, man, they're like, man, what do you think about Zorka? He's the next Tate. I'm like, man, that dude is out of his mind. I'm like, bro, and I can't even watch his content. I did not engage in conversation at the dinner table. Like, don't even look at me. Myron was laughing.
Did you see the bet he had with Albert telling him he can have a million subs and he can dwarf him in the sub count and the views and Desi was like, you don't want to take that bet.
He believes that, bro. Like what you see on camera, that's not Myron Gang, Fresh to an extent, Andrew Tate, all these other people, even me. You're gonna amp up the performance a little bit on camera, just a little bit. Some people more than others, right? That dude, that Zorka dude, nah, bro, that's him. There's no off button. That's him walking down the street every day. What you see on that camera is dude. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was sitting there eating, watching, shocked. I was shocked. Myron laughing because he know what I'm thinking, and out of respect for Myron, like, that's your guy. I ain't got nothing to say. You know what I mean? If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. I was raised that way. I kept my mouth shut. So with that in mind, I'm real particular what panel I'm on. I'm real particular what, whose platform I come on. So
I agree.
Salute to you. So, you know what I mean, sir?
I agree. I tell people all the time, like, especially on certain spaces out here, women, especially women, they'll complain. Oh my God, like, I didn't know. I just clicked the link. And I'm like, yo, did you watch all the previous content? That will give you a good indicator of some people and how they behave, because even myself, I say this all the time. When people do just live podcasting platforms, people get real comfortable, especially after, if that's you. Like Zerker, I didn't know who this guy was until he pops up on the ABBA, Destiny, and mostly on the Fresh and Fit. And I seen him before, but I never heard of him. And shout out to Ashley, she debated him, and she's on that side where she engaged with him a lot. And some other people that
why would you do that, baby? How could you? I couldn't even talk to her.
Oh, trust me, she got thick turtle skin. She will sit there for an hour, and I'm with you too, because I'll be looking at a lot of content she'll do with people, and I said that, like, it could be me. It could not be me, but he's in a whole nother world. I just those people like that rub me the wrong way, to the point, like, yo, like I said, same atmosphere, same vibe. Let's just say imagine if that was your guy, DL, and we sit at the same dinner table. I don't think I could tolerate the dinner. I'm like, yo, let me go ahead and try to eat a little bit. Hey, DL, man, I'll catch you later.
And bro, I was at the other end of the table. I was all the way at the other end of the table. They were like towards the middle, going closer to the opposite end. It was Myron and Angie and one of Angie's friends between us, and they had a couple over here. And bro, I didn't say a word. I was like, nope, don't even look my way. Like I said, Myron was laughing because he already knew. He was like, man, Saint ain't gonna want to hear none of this. And Adam Sosnick was like instigating. He kept saying stuff and throwing, like, it was, you know how sometimes it dies off. He would throw something else in there. You know what I mean? So what else do you believe? And I'm like, oh God, no. And it was the weirdest thing, bro. But I'm that dude. I'm not gonna talk to you, man. Like, if you know what I mean? If I say this on my platform all the time. I say to people in real life, if you believe the earth is flat, don't even talk to me, man. Just walk on by. I don't even want to.
Those are the ones. As soon as I hear that, I just like, all right, cool. You're that guy. And I just like, all right, I'm me. I remember, and Ashley, right, she says, I'm a glutton for punishment. Yeah. Every space I've been on, like the back sector, whatever, like, it'd be cool for a minute. And then I'll just like, because they know, like, I can't be on a panel. If it's going to be like that, I got to like fall back, or I respectfully just eject myself. Hey, good day. Appreciate you. Thank you, for support. And I'll dip. Because sometimes that's another one too. A lot of people don't understand it too. Like sometimes, let's just say out the rare, you may get into a situation that might just go a little bit haywire, a little bit off the cuff, like the Zerka moments or whatever. Yo, it's not shameful just to eject yourself out of it. Just eject yourself. Hey, thank you, appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna dip off the panel. Now, if they come around, let's say again that same vibe, DL hit me like, hey man, what happened? You ain't stay for dessert. Hey, DL, I know that's your boy, man, but you know what? I don't want to disrespect you and your table, so I just left because that's not me. And that's pretty much
Wouldn't even have to ask. Myron didn't have to ask me nothing. He was just laughing because he knew it. He was like, he was just laughing. You know what I mean? And if old boy had got closer, or if the table was smaller, I'd have left. I'm out. Like I would have left. You know what I mean? I can't deal with that. I can't. I'm too old.
I know. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's the age. I don't know, man. Maybe it's the age thing. I don't know. I look at people and I'm like, "Are you okay? Like, are we doing this for real? Like, all right, okay, yeah."
Right. Looking for the cameras, like, am I being?
I had a kid. Yeah, I had no lie. Short story. I had a kid try me, and I swear to God, I literally looked around like there was like 50 cameras, and I leaned over, looked at him, said, "This we for real right now?"
Yeah, this for real.
He just didn't know. All right.
19, Tate explains how Vivian was his first girl that he's been with for 6 years when he first started the webcam business.
So yeah, that's how it started. I met Vivian in Slovakia. We had a long-term relationship thing. I was living in England. I moved her to England to be with me to start doing my webcam company, which I started. And you try and bring a new girl in. You actually have to downplay your relationship with the girl of 6 years. When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28. Vivian's like 21.
Do the math on that one. That means Vivian was only 15 years old when Tate brought her in the webcam business. That's not even the age of consent, let alone for the creation of pornography. So 10 years ago, he would have been 26 with a 15-year-old. His words, not mine. He put this on the internet. It boggles my mind that somebody could be this stupid. I need a break. With Fume, not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of drastic, uncomfortable changing another coffee, I just grab the Fume and wood and the mag work. By the way, the peppermint flavor is my favorite. Being charged as well and for the journey pack today. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this video.
All the money in the world can't save you, and when it's your time, boy, the Reaper gonna take you.
There are a ton of people, including the Tates, claiming that they aren't trafficking anyone because women love them.
Endless women support us.
But that isn't a very good defense because of the two webcam girls siding with him. Both of them are being charged as well, and for a very good reason.
You think the because we was talking about snitching earlier. Do you think the two women are gonna snitch or have a different opinion?
They would have done it by now. No, they're not gonna do it. Those two women, and like I said, like most of these guys out here, like, bro, those two women are actually sitting down in a Romanian prison for these guys. Like, you know what? There's a reason behind that. Maybe it's money. Maybe they're like, look, just do this time on, you know what I mean, whatever on the back end, we got you, you're gonna get paid. It could be that, but I doubt it. I just think that these women are like, nope, I back these guys. They're sitting down in jail. Like, you know, Americans don't do that these days. These kids, man, bro, they be bailing out before. You know what I mean? Police be picking you up because they done snitched on you. You know what I mean? They done already bailed out. So I don't think these women do. Like I said, they added a guy to this case. If anybody's going to talk, it's going to be that guy. And I don't know who this guy is. Never seen the dude before. I've never, you know, I was asking the people like, is that, you know, if he's part of their crew, and the guys who know them, you know what I mean? They're like, nah. I
have two perspectives because when last time we did a stream covering Andrew Tate with the first arrest and everything else and introducing the girls, I thought we would jokingly, I instantly thought the one or two girls were gonna do it, right? Because she had her grandmother passed, she left out, went to go see, visit grandmother grave. She still wearing the same outfit. She got arrested. That was crazy. Never heard about the second girl, just like it was there. So I kept thinking of the ex-cop that was there. So I'm thinking she's gonna be snitched. Then it dawned, I say it's kind of far off now that he would, but now I'm like, could it be the brother Tristan? Because Tristan's like that dynamic power duo. Maybe the seed of greed might get to Tristan's. Like, you know what? Put them guys in a separate room. Let them sweat. So
not even close, bro. Tristan and Andrew are two of the tightest humans I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like I said, I haven't interacted personally with Tristan. He was in the studio that night. You know what I mean? But again, if Tristan would have jealousy, he was going to do something, they'd have been done it. These guys came up from nothing through all of the turmoil and all the drama. I know what they're talking about. That's like getting me to rat, you know what I mean, a turn on my cousin. Nah, we've been through too much. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I'll do the time so he can be free. And that's that dynamic between those two brothers, in my opinion. I don't see that happening. One of the women were like an officer or something, a captain within law enforcement. She was the woman that told them to move to Romania. So it could be one of those things where she feels a certain amount of responsibility, right? She's like, man, you guys are good. You don't deserve this. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and do this time. And a Romanian jail is not like sitting in an American jail. Like they really going through it. It's horrible in there. So again, according to people who have done the time, I've never been locked up in a Romanian prison. You know what I mean? But you know, it's one of those things. The only person I think will talk, if anyone talks at all, is this guy that they just added to the case. And I don't even understand that. How are you going to add somebody to a case? Where was this dude before? Like, you know what I mean?
But to be fair though, they didn't go to trial yet, so it's like you can add whoever you want to that day.
Facts.
And also your words too. So I have to agree with this one. It's like Romanian course is a little bit different than ours, so we know how things gonna go off the rip. That's why I said before, shut your mouth. I will have everybody that quote unquote supports me give me all the cheers and praises. You know what I'm saying? As fans, they got the let them do the media attention for us. The people. You know, I'm fine with that. But me myself, I just have to sweat it out until trial. Michael Jackson did it. You know,
hey, Mike, that was completely what Mike was doing, and they should have not only should they have locked up Mike, they should have locked up them parents. You know what I mean? Like that's
what I'm saying. Go for everybody. Go for everybody. But I got a question though. I thought about last time we was on Suzette. So do you think there's going to be a live trial? Because if so, I really want to see that.
No, I don't think it's going to go to a trial. I honestly believe they're going to drag this out with motions and this and that and hearings and blah, 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 blah. It's not going to be a trial. I think there's going to be a payoff before a trial or a payout before the trial. What I mean by that, the powers to be at the top, whoever needs what, you know, it's 5 million over here, 10 million over there, 30 million over there, however it breaks down, that money is going to find its way into the appropriate account and the whole case goes away. And like I said, I think it's going to happen when it's going to be something. I give it maybe a year, between 6 and maybe 13 months from now. I don't think it's going to go more than that. Something's going to happen in the world, something big, and then they're going to announce, you know what I mean, on the heels of that. Like, Russia unleashes a tactical nuke in the war with Ukraine that day. Bottom line news. All right, the tapes were released. You know what I mean? Because all the money in this, because no one's going to care. But right now, still there are people looking.
Honestly, I don't even think, this is me as far as the media goes, I really don't think nobody even really cares that much because it's just a person on the whole other side of media. It's not like the politics with Trump right now. I was trying to get a conversation started about the lieutenant governor of North and South Carolina, where he said he believed that reparations isn't old, that it's the other way around. So I think it's weird, bro. I think like, but he did a counter with he was more his talking points is more against the alphabet community. So I guess people say, hey, we'll allow you say this, as long as you're standing up against that. So I think that's what it is. But I don't think that many people is really looking at it as is. I think us, since we're in that space or actually looking and doing the homework, I think we're more involved. So I think that's pretty much the more entertaining. Because like even with the YouTube section, it got, yes, I agree. Actually, the algorithm. So even with the YouTube section, like when we upload out a video, it gives us sections of entertainment, politics, this or that. So I think just the entertainment side, that's what it's showing for him. And I say maybe like a good 85% of people of the world is not really, don't even know who he is. And that's weird. So we're so okay.
A lot of people do though. Like when he is the most Google guy, there's enough people in Europe that knows who he is and they know about this case that the Romanians have to.
Because it's affecting their country though.
Yeah,
that's
it makes
the
the country look really bad. And another thing too about Tristan, I'm seeing in the chat, people talking about he looks like a soft boy, this, that, and the third. If the Tates were really gangsters, let's say the Tates really were running a criminal enterprise, right? Tristan would be the enforcer. I don't know if y'all realize that about that guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he dresses nice and he has more hair than his brother, and he, you know what I mean, he's like a little more soft-spoken. There's video of him knocking dudes out. You know what I mean? And I think they were in Romania. They might have been somewhere else in Eastern Europe. There's like, dude, whenever I see dude, he's always got marks. So you can tell like dude's been fighting. You know what I mean? Like, so he would be the enforcer. You know what I mean? So don't think for a minute the dude ain't got heart. He does have heart. And he has his daughter's Romanian. If he had to sit down, I think he would sit down. I don't see him rolling on his brother. I don't see Tristan or Andrew rolling on anybody. I just don't see that now. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll give you that. I don't see Tristan snitching or ratting on Andrew Tate. But I ain't gonna lie. I see Andrew Tate ratting out somebody else just to make sure they get less sentences or at least get out. I see that. But I kind of have to agree with you about the trial thing. I hope they do. I hope some other influencer get out there like, look, since he want to make it a public spectacle on media, let's make it a live trial. So I'm hoping it'd be a live trial so we can see the evidence, not just, what we're doing now, even what we're witnessing, people just dropping out like, hey, some stuff leak and we're trying to pick up the piece ourselves. I want to see a full trial.
I mean, it'd be nice. I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, a trial would really make the Ukrainians look. Ukraine. I got Ukraine on the mind. It would really make the Romanians look bad. And again, we don't understand the judicial system. And you know, you got countries like that who they always need help from the West. So the last thing they want to do is make themselves look bad. They're trying to say we're not like the former Soviet Union. Yes, y'all are. You know what I mean? So just let the payouts happen. You know, and let this all go away. I think that's what they want to do. But hey, if there is a trial, bro, it'll be millions watching. It'll be the next whatchamacallit soap opera.
All right, fair enough.
Transcripts leaked by the prosecution of the Tate's webcam WhatsApp group chat. The prosecution, as well as one girl, are claiming this took place right before she was beat and raped. RL is a former policewoman and Tristan's assistant, who is also being charged. NG is Andrew's bottom bitch, who is also being charged. PI is the victim that has sided with the prosecution, and Andrew Tate is Andrew Tate. You are free tonight to sleep. Don't rub them in. So you can be arrested tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday for the weekend. The policewoman says, so there's clearly no longer a problem for recovery. The victim responds, you mean, but I didn't say I'm not going in today at all. The former policewoman then asks, well, how much did you have to recover so far? Don't bewitch me because you didn't do anything today. Andrew then chimes in, did you tell the new hooker that you made a lot of money? The bottom bitch then says, you see, we split on OnlyFans. G takes O, I take you. Maybe you're not listening because I'm killing you if we don't make money. Punch yourself in the mouth until I arrive, because then I'll give you another 10, you incurable sloth. I'll break you when I get there. The girl then asks, what did I do? Policewoman replies, you have 1 hour and 10 minutes to disappear. The victim then asks again, but what did I do? And the policewoman answers, better said, what did you do yesterday for an hour? You're 20% down 4 days since you posted. The bottom bitch then jumps in, I'm waiting for the money yesterday. And the former policewoman ends it with, well, if Andrew looks to see if you posted TikToks, you won't even have time to pack. You're flying off the balcony straight away. So when they're sitting there claiming,
now this was transcripts that was already out, or the text messaging. So we can take it as face value, or we can take it as speculation.
I mean, you take it the way however they're taking it. Now, you know, again, that's what you were saying with a trial. It'd be good to see all this stuff in the trial and see what people say on the stand if they have that sort of thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they give testimony, but you're right. You look at something like that, like, yeah, that looks horrible right there. You know what I mean? That looks real horrible. Now, you see the women. Are you saying that they're being beat by these people or beat by somebody? Where are the pictures, bro? Where are the pictures with the big sunglasses on, the covering up the black eyes, the bloody nose? You know what I'm saying? If you going in on somebody, where's the documentation if you go into the hospital or doctors coming to see you? You know what I mean? No one wants to be brutalized. You're talking about a former law enforcement person. I think she was like an officer or whatever. She's been with the police a long time. You telling me even though she's removed from the police force, she doesn't have access to weapons, firearms? She doesn't have access to people who could do bad things, right? We're in Romania. So again, this is how I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, yeah, I take it. That's bad. Everything the dude was just reading right there, that's bad. You know what I mean? Like, that looks horrible. But what's really going on? I don't know. What's the rest of the evidence? I don't know. Is that even admissible? Don't know. You know what I mean? I don't want to go off the end and be like, oh, tinfoil hat, it was all, it's deep fake, it's this and that. Nah, I'm not going to say that. I'm pretty sure that's from the phone. They seized everything. I'm pretty sure that's there. But, you know what I mean? We just don't know.
I will say this for us, the comment about the black eyes and stuff. Like, if it happens, usually most victims be like, look, let me heal physically, and then down the line they still not heal emotionally and mentally. So for them, the wounds are still there. But, and I don't want to discredit that, but just the fact that, again, the text message right there, that's something like some people just can't run away from. And it's added and collected. So again, I'm with you on this one. We'll see when the court. And this is just me again. I'm still harping on the fact I so desperately want to see a live trial just cause. Shout out to Ashley. You need to put your name back. She says, I don't want to read the not your everyday Ashley. Shout out to Ashley. She says they are basically held prisoners on the compound. How could they get to the hospital, and where would the pigs come from?
Well, I would tackle that two ways. Okay, let's say they were being held captive on the compound, which there's video evidence to the contrary, but let's say that they were being held, right, against their will. They need medical attention. Whoever's holding them there, i.e. the security guards and this, that, and the third, because we know that Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate aren't there most of the time. That's already been established. They weren't even there, right? So someone has to take them. It could be the police later, whatever, or they have to bring in a doctor, right? So And everything in that home, every square inch of that home is under video surveillance. They got all of the surveillance. If there's gaps in the surveillance, like what happened between this time and this time, right? And they couldn't retrieve that. Now I'm like, oh man, that looks pretty bad. You got this, you got 8 hours out of this day missing, an hour here, hour there, whatever. You know what I mean? But none of that seems to be the case. And I agree with you, bro. Like a lot of people find themselves in situations where they're being physically abused. Right. There's emotional scars, there's mental scars. I get all that. But to say that they were being held against their will when there's video evidence to the contrary, to say that they're being beaten, where's that video evidence? Every inch. There's not a corner of their compound that's not recorded 24/7. So I'm just making those points. Again, there's a lot out there we don't know. And the fact that the Tate boys are out here making videos, doing their emergency meetings and stuff like that. Now, they didn't do it right away when they got home. They're doing it now. I'm reading that to mean that, man, they know something we really don't know. They don't seem to be afraid of this case, but then the case changed. I mean, they added people to the case. They got more, different charges that come up. So it might be different.
All right, fair enough. Shout out to Ms. Glow. I guess she got a question for you. Dale, are you asking why the prostitutes didn't go to the hospital and why they are no pics of the black eyes? DL, stop it. Period.
No, I'm not asking. First of all, these women, because we're either they're prostitutes or they're women who being, pimped or swindled or taken advantage of. It's one of the. A prostitute's a pro. Like that's her job. That's her work. It is what it is. She's gonna get her bread. But we're saying we're taking these women who didn't know any better. I'm only here because Andrew says he's gonna marry me. All right, if we're talking about that, right? We're talking about that. If she gets hurt, she's gonna have to go to the hospital, and the pictures will be either in the compound itself or at the hospital that they took her to, right? And if a doctor came, a doctor's gonna tell the truth. Like, yeah, this woman, I treated her at these premises and she slid me a note. She says she's being held against her will, or I thought she was being held against her will. And I hate being in this position. Like I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not playing, Tate's lawyer. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Where's the evidence? We got all this evidence for one thing, but no one wants to talk about, well, if you got evidence for this, how come you don't have evidence for that? If you know what I mean, if you got tapes here, how come you don't have tapes there?
Well, that's pretty much what I'm asking, because that's my whole mindset for the whole week is like people showing evidence, mostly him running his mouth. So I'm like, okay, where's the evidence to dispute that? Like, if you're saying, we'll leave the 15-year-old girl aside, right? If we're saying like the first one was grape, right? And I'm pretty much like the last stream, I'm with the fellas on this one. We know just the allegation, if that's not even true, that still sticks to you. Right. So I'm with that one. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's focus on that if it is. So if there's some leak stuff out there, okay, show evidence of the opposite, like it's not there. Then we got the other one of the sex trafficking. Okay, that's a large broad spectrum in the realms of what I had the list of it for, but one of them was coercion. So we're sitting here listening to over and over again where Tate is actually giving a lot of coercion to his words, like, hey, the love bombing, all this tactics to get the girl here. But for me, it just seemed like not all, but a lot of fellas like, yo, man, but she made the choice, man. She came there, man. And I'm like, nah, it's a lot more to this when it comes to sex trafficking. Hell, we know this just outside of other countries when you have limited third world country resources where people will do the least just to get you there because, hey, they in need of things. So now it's a lot, but just
it's definitely
forward.
A lot. Yeah, we can move forward. And yeah, Sister Ashley, you're right. Physical abuse isn't that far-fetched. It's not. The tax evasion, the tax fraud stuff, not far-fetched at all. It's not. I think that could be a big problem. Ties to organized crime, that could be a big problem. You know what I mean? But all this other stuff, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
All right, fair enough. Because this not got me sparked. I think tomorrow I might just do ladies, y'all let me know in the chat. Fellas, y'all let me know in the chat. Tomorrow I say like 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Central Time. Let me know. 1, do it. 2, don't worry about it. GP. I will do a cover of cover and just talk about the sex trafficking industry and how does that work, because I feel like that's an interesting conversation for tomorrow. I start off with narcissism and narcissistic traits, because I keep hearing a lot of spaces people keep pointing and yelling and screaming, that's a narcissist, this is a narcissist, that's a narcissist. I'm like, you don't understand the definition of a narcissist. People assume it's whatever because they don't like a person. So I was like, look, let's just have the conversation. So I did a whole dive with actual, again, like I said before, Tate, for me, not a professional or anything except for, like you just said, a kickboxer. Cool. Do I want to see I can test my skills on him? No, because why? I'm not a kickboxer, I'm not a professional fighter. I'm a regular Joe street fighter, aka I will grab it, something, depending on the size of you. If you're larger, I'm grabbing it. I'm too old for this. You know what I'm saying? But if you are a doctor, physician, whatever, let's have that conversation. So that's what I did. I broke it down in 2 parts. I broke it down like understanding the traits of a narcissism. What are they? Moved down to flying monkeys. And then I did another part of it too, where pretty much the healing and solution base of it. And then I was going to go ahead and do another part where like how, because what I find is funny with traits of narcissism, when they find or lure flying monkeys, when they find and lure flying monkeys, now it becomes what happens with the flying monkeys, right? Because some is actually cool. It's like hurt people like trauma bonded, like, hey, me and you don't like the same person, so now we got to talk crap on that person. I generally don't like that person, so because you have one idea of that person, so you're going to come along with me and we'll together form like Captain Planet, form together, all the colors together, get together and just bash on this person secretly, privately, or then some. So now what happens when the person, the narcissist already target, and now that narcissist, he or she's not getting the source from that person no more, and he or she's not giving the source to that narcissist. Now what happens to the flying monkeys? And this is my theory of this, what happens in the flying monkeys is you might have some that's gung-ho with that person. You might have some that's, because you have some people that's flying monkeys, they're down to where they are. Like, I don't like you just because, and now we're here trauma bonding because of this person. When what you're really supposed to do, and shout out to you, say, hey, think. Why are you hating that person? Matter of fact, let me question you. Why are you hating that person? Why are you disliking this person? What's the reason? Did they steal money from you? Did they say something about your mama? Did they curse out your wife? And these are things we both seen in spaces may warrant you a right to say, hey, let me speak out against this person, right? But if they're just talking about your not the character, but if they're talking about like me, you diving into talking points, right? That's something to have a conversation about. But it's not to have fights. That's not for me to get the anti-DL Saint brigade. Like, hey man, tomorrow we're gonna go ahead and talk about DL Saint all day because he disagreed with me on at least half of the things that we're talking about Andrew Tate. That doesn't make any sense. So
he called me a bottom dwelling.
So that's pretty much going to be a whole nother segment, just what happens with the flying monkeys and the interaction with themselves and how they disperse. But back to the video.
All these girls are siding with them. That's just not true. It's only the girls being charged as well. I want to take a moment and address the comments that many of the Tate fans have been leaving, claiming that what the Tates are doing isn't human trafficking. They say, man, this concept of human trafficking is so dumb. Apparently working for webcam because you fell in love is now manipulation. Like, girls can't think for themselves now. It's like making a girl fall in love with me and then telling her to jump off a cliff. And where the F are they being trafficked to? Romania, specifically its various properties in Ilfov County. Because putting girls who are in love with you on webcams is not human trafficking. It is very clearly human trafficking under Romanian law. Criminal offenses, section 1. It is an offense for anyone who recruits a person by the means of fraud or deception for the purpose of exploitation. The fraud and deception is in telling girls that they're going to be in a relationship or married and travel the world when they're not.
Then you start saying things like, oh yeah, but you're always working. I have to do some traveling and you can't come. I want to bring you with me. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together?
Here's more transcripts and text messages Dicot's released between Andrew Tate and one of the women he allegedly trafficked. Again, this is translated from English to Romanian and then back to English, so bear with me. You have to understand that you're mine and you'll be mine forever. A woman never leaves her man. I will be the last man in your life. What do you do if we fall in love and I kidnap you to Bucharest? That's like way more on the nose than that woman ever realized. She says, I don't think it's kidnapping if I want to come. And he goes, first I have to see it in your eyes that you will never be able to live without me. And then I could trust you to show you everything. She tells him, bring a ring when you come. And he says, but can you be a loving wife? To always be by my side wherever I go. Talk to 0 men besides me. Ride or die. You have to move to Romania to keep an eye on you. Your mom, don't forget that. And act like it. We will be together soon. She then asks, can I trust you? And Andrew replies, yes, you can. And I want to know if you're committed, serious about marriage. And she says, yes, I am serious. Having his bottom bitch play along and act like Andrew Tate loves her.
She'll super downplay us so that the new girl feels like, well, they're just kind of working sex. And now I'm here and he likes me. And she can believe in her mind that she can be equal. If Vivian was completely honest, well, he's been with me 6 years and we're going to be together forever, so you're just a side bitch, then it's not going to ever work.
This is fraud.
6 years. That's the timestamp again. 6 years.
And the exploitation is then having the girls work in his webcam business.
Because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich.
Now, if you want to...
Any agreements, disagreements on that so far? Or
that's what he did. I mean, that's what he did. He got women to do the cam girl thing, and he just said it. He was like, "Yep, I got them to fall in love with me." They came through. When he first started, I think he had, I don't know, maybe 8 girls show up. I mean, maybe between him and his brother, and I think 6 up, like maybe 5 of them left or something like that. Like, nah, I ain't doing this. You out your mind. But some stayed, and that's like you said. They went into me. They came. They did this thing. Would I do it? Absolutely not. That's not my thing. I can't even fathom that. That's not on, you know what I mean? Like I ain't doing that.
No, in your personal circle coming up, because I know we lose friends and gain friends, and because my personal circle is small, tight. Even when you relocate, because I remember when I was in Jersey, I had a wide net of friends from high school and after high school. We pretty much shout out to Jersey and up north, Jersey, Baltimore, Philly. Shout out to y'all guys, because some reason we just got a different energy about us. If we don't like you, we ain't waiting a whole month to tell you we don't like you. We a whole nother breed. But I came to the South, and you see like a different vibe of people. They'll play like these weird chess moves. They'll want to ask all the quick questions about you. Who's your mama? Who's your last name? Who's all these people? Then next thing you know, it's like they disappear. Then it's the gossiping and all this stuff. Most of the South, not all. So you learn to find your close-knit friends. So with that being said, so if all this we're saying now, would this be a friend of yours that you would have in your inner circle, or just like, yo, like the example you gave, like a Zerker character, like, yo, you know what? That's your boy. You can keep him.
Yeah, I would sit down. I would break bread. I would talk with Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate. I would sit down. I would hang out with those guys. I would never spend a minute with Zerker.
If they invite you to dinner, you'd be like, after seeing it, you'd be like, yeah, I'm good.
I'll go. I'll sit down. I'll break bread with those dudes. Now, if I find out, like, yeah, let's say we sitting down talking, it was like, yeah, bro, she was 16, I'm out. You know what I mean? But to your point, you're saying, you know, my best friend. It takes 10 years for people to get close to me. I have a lot of associates. I have very few friends. And that's another thing that people don't understand. You know what I mean? If you living in the world where you meet somebody and 3 days later, that's your BFF, you're running around like you 12. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. We grown ups here. You know, we grown ups here. You got a problem. You got to work on that. You know what I mean? To get close to me, not DL Saint, like to me, the real dude, it's going to take time. I got to figure out who you are. You know what I mean? Like, because the people who are close to me are family. You're not even friend. Like I said, I could count them on my hand. You know how many people are truly close to me? People I know that will go the distance for me. I'll go the distance for them. Like when it's somebody like that's my people right there, like that's really my inner circle. Trust and believe, bro. If the situation arose and we got to put you in the bag, nice knowing you. You know what I mean? Now, how many people could say that? You know what I mean? So I have a lot of associates. You know what I mean? And thank God we don't live in a world where that's a thing anymore. Like we out there like living that life no more. We're not living that life no more. But the people who were closest to me were with me when we were living that life. The people who were closest to me, the people who were deployed with me. The people who jumped out of airplanes with me, the people who bled and hurt with me. You know what I mean? Like those are the people who are closest to me. It's like I said, it's a handful of us.
Yeah, and that's a different type of relationship too when you're out serving. Because those people, that's a whole different type of trust too. A whole different type of trust.
Trusting people with your life. Now, are you asking me Andrew Tate is found not guilty or whatever, or they just drop the case, it all goes away, and I'm in Dubai, and Tate and the Tate brothers are in Dubai, and they'll invite me over to go kick it. Am I gonna go kick it? Yep. Am I gonna film it? Yep. You know what I mean? And he's gonna understand that. But again, cameras are off or whatever. We sitting down talking, and he was like, "Yeah, man, she was 16," and give me some reason as to why. I said, "I'm gone, bro." I'm grown, and all that footage I'm burning. You know what I mean? Like I'm deleting all that footage, man, because I'm not trying to. No, I got to distance myself from this dude. You know what I mean? I ain't rocking with this dude. You know what I mean? And it's not on me to say, well, Tate, here's an exclusive. Tate told me. Nah, I'm just not. No, we way beyond YouTube and all this other kind of stuff. Like, that's a bad dude. That is a bad, you know what I mean? That's a weirdo right there. Why? All this money and you did what? Like I said, man, you know difference than Michael Jackson or, you know, R. Kelly or Elvis Presley at that point. Yeah, it changes the entire way I see you. You know what I mean? Now, outside of that, yeah, when I sit down and have a talk to that guy, I did.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna shun you for that though. So again, it's just like after the fact of knowing. And this is for me. If I know you're saying what you're saying, what I'm witnessing what you're saying, I can't rock with you. Like this is not a oopsie, I made a mistake. Or and I'll use Ashley for example. She's a tough girl. If Ashley came in her mouth and said, you know what, F Grey Pill, just for no reason. But a month later, I heard her say it, and I'm there. And then a month later, we just happen to become cool. We find something mutual common ground on just like we might be. I'm just saying we might have kids. We might be taking our kids to the park. We might have the dogs to meet up, and we just have a casual conversation. And next thing you know, we're just saying we're cool. We just have to become casual friends. That's different than versus Ashley or I'll use you, Corey, because you're my man. I'll use Corey for example. So if Corey come out of his mouth saying the stuff he's saying, like, hey, my bottom B, this is what I do, ABC. I'm looking at Corey like, yo, Corey, I didn't know this was you. Corey, you saying that for real? Consistently? Look at him. He got every different outfit on saying the same thing. Corey, I can't rock with you, man. Matter of fact, I would do this. I would take your advice. It wouldn't be a conversation. I wouldn't be answering your phone. I wouldn't be reaching out to you. I just wouldn't. I fall off. Yeah, I don't give attention to that people like that. Even when it was done for me on a media platform, and I had people like reach out like, "Hey man, do you want to react to this?" Why would I even give you that time and energy for that? That's stupid.
Like, bro, you could be a drug dealer responsible for supplying a third of America. You could be the plug, the East Coast plug, the Midwest plug, right? The down South plug, like that guy. But you a cool dude. I ain't in that business with you. Ain't in that business with me. You're a family man, whatever. I don't have a problem with that, right? But there are a lot of people who are like, no, you're a drug dealer. You're a scum of the earth. You're a bad person. I don't want anything to do with you. It's an individual choice, right? It's an individual choice.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like I said, like this whole thing, this whole 16 thing, if that's true, yeah, man, I ain't rocking with dude at all. I ain't got nothing to say to him. You know what I mean? Like Ashley's wild, and she was like, I would still go film it and expose the F out of you.
She's a different breed. She's a different breed. Again, right. To be fair, she's in Florida.
Right. I ain't mad at you, but this is the way I was raised. You know, me and my team when we was coming up, man, it's the one of the rules I live by. All money ain't good money. I don't care. That's something I don't want to be involved with. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you gotta judge the individual on the sum of their parts. And if you're doing stuff like this, like, bro, I can't be around you. Like you said, how can I bring my people around you? How can I bring my people's people around you? You around little kids, I'm looking at you a certain way, right? That's Hollywood. I was in Hollywood for about 25 years. That's Hollywood. Y'all really don't know how grimy it is out there. Y'all really don't. The stuff y'all see on TV and the exposure and this and that, y'all have no idea how many families are serving up their children to the beast out there in Hollywood. But these people, y'all see them like, oh my God, that's a star. Give me a selfie. Oh my God, you're so cool. Come on now. You know what I mean? Like I seen it. So it is what it is. When I see this Andrew Tate stuff, yeah, man, bad stuff. I was just reading that stuff, and Dicot released that information, right? I'm like, why is Dicot releasing so much information? If you got these people dead to rights, I'm trying to get to trial as soon as I can.
I ain't gonna lie. I really do agree that part. Like, it's been 8 months of the research. It was the allegations first when it was been held for 3. It was grape, sex trafficking, and tax evasion. That's the last time we covered it. Then it was, now he was indicted. Now he's formally, because one guy just jumped in, Sujet. This doesn't mean he's guilty. Nobody said he was guilty. We just said what the actual formal charges of from the indictment. Now is let me read it. I think I still have it here. It was grape, sex trafficking, and also the grounds of building an organization for sex trafficking. So whoever's with him and himself, that's also the charge with that too. So that's where they at. Somehow tax evasion isn't there, but when we said in the chat versus what we had a conversation earlier, I think we all agreed that later on, let's just say this might get dismissed because according to DL Saint, like years ago, something happened. Hey, I put a lot of money into a situation to get myself out of it, pay off a lot of people, or just got the best lawyers. I got out of it, but I came out just a little bit short of the nickel, right? So now here we are again. This might be the same situation, but this case might get blown off like a guesstimate that DL saying, hey, if that happens, guess what might come up later? The tax evasion. So when he leave out that country, or they might deal with them, then something else might pop up somewhere else wherever he goes. So you might be right with that. But also what DACA got on the website, there's a news article which shows a lot of stuff going on daily with their country and with Andrew Tate, the guys that got the hotels with him, everybody's affiliated with him, and everybody's affiliated with them does not have they have a very checkered past and a current checkered one too. So that's something to think about also. Shout out to Duke the Dawn because he covered that and gave a great deep dive most of that stuff. So we get back to
bro. And that's another thing too, real quick. Like these people are weirdos. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's a lot of young people checking this out. But back in the day, there was a school teacher got pregnant by like her 14-year-old or 15-year-old student, and she did time for it. Right? She had the baby. She did time for it. Got out of jail and married that now grown man. But at the time, he was a little boy. And they're like, oh, they lived happily ever after. Man, she should still be in jail. Man, it's a weirdo. You know what I mean? She got pregnant by a 14-year-old boy. She was his teacher. You know what I mean? So when we talk about this kind of stuff, man, like Andrew Tate's a kickboxer, man, who ran a cam business. Yeah, that's bad, but you got teachers. You had that the doctor of the official Olympic doctor for the female gymnast who was doing those horrible things to those young girls, those gymnasts. Yeah, he got locked up for it, but he was doing that for a long time before anybody officially says something. They were letting it ride. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, okay, this stuff about Andrew Tate is bad. But like I said, there are other people out here too. Gender shouldn't get in the way. You know what I mean? The fact that somebody's a preacher or something like that shouldn't get in the way, or the coach of the basketball team or soccer team or whatever. That's all I'm saying, man. This is horrific. And if you're a minor, it's not your fault, no way, shape, or form. Just some grown-up guy in your ear and whatever. Andrew Tate talked grown women into coming over there and doing whatever allegedly they was doing. They was grown women. They didn't have to go. And when they got there, they could have left. You know what I mean? So again, like, did they get beaten all this and coerced and whatever? We'll see how that shakes out. But like I say, man, I don't think this trial will make it to see daylight. I think this is all gonna go away before that.
All right, fair enough.
For some reason, you can disagree with the law, like this guy. To be fair, the lover boy method shouldn't even be illegal. What about the gold-digging girls that seduce men and take their money? Same thing. You cannot like the law, but even this Tate fan can't deny that he's breaking it. Another charge being brought to Tate is money laundering, and guess what? He's guilty. In the course, he tells the guys how to avoid paying the woman and paying taxes.
Tax is also another important element of controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. But you need to tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we've made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It's a control element. Secondly, it allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I'd give them 3, and I'd keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, but we had to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50.
He's teaching you how to commit.
I just want to say this because this is on my head, on my dome. Ashley, according to Andrew Tate, you don't know taxes. Where you at, girl? Where you at? I don't know, right? If you're a female or male, if you got women in your family, they don't know taxes. Miss Globe Girl, you don't know nothing about taxes. Let's go down the list. Marcus, the women in your family don't know taxes. Who else we got going on here? Who else? Lady Navor, the women, you don't know taxes, girl. You don't know taxes. You need to be making a sandwich. Who else we got down here? All the women in the Gray Pill Podcast and subscribe. According to Andrew Tate, you don't know taxes. Make it make sense.
Hey, bro, like the stuff he's saying though, like why would you put that out there, homie? Like that's like this is how you conduct your business. Yeah, you getting paid for it, and I guess the defense will be, I was lying. That was just me talking boombastic. But why would you even put yourself out there like that? Again, making the wrong moves on the chessboard. It's his fault. This is all Andrew Tate's fault, right? He's here because of what he did. There's no one else's fault here but his, and he owns up to it. But while I'm listening to it, like,
hold on, when he own up to this?
And he's owning up to the fact that I did my time. I was in there. I was doing push-ups, whatever. He's like the Matrix is out to get me, but he knows that he is in.
Yeah, he knows in his head, but he hasn't. Yeah, he knows in his head, but he haven't out loudly said, "Look,
he said it on PBD's podcast. He said it on Patrick Beck David. Go back and listen to it. I'll find it. He said it like, I'm here because of my actions. He said that.
All right, I'll definitely go back. We'll make this a part 3. We'll definitely go back to that.
Like you said that.
All right, as we continue.
Fraud. And if you have a bunch of undocumented money, well, that means it needs to be washed. And because it's Andrew, he just talked about it over the phone. This is coming from wiretaps Dicott put in his house. You're not stupid. You could probably guess how I make so much money. The victim responds, webcam? ? I've been doing this for a long time with a team of girls working on video chat. The company is fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money. Some of the girls who worked for me, I then used to do other things, to move money, illegal things, documents, etc. I will never do that with you. Is this blowing anyone else's mind? He has a course where he teaches people how to be a criminal and self-snitches to everything, and then he just tells this girl over the phone.
Obviously, I'm the smartest man alive.
Bro, you're an idiot. You caught yourself. You're going to jail.
You guys are good. I'm the last person I would have suspected, but I was looking for me all the time. It's the perfect crime.
Johnson, why are you naked? Because
and I was thinking about it, bro. And I want to make a correction. What Tate said, I was just thinking about it. If I'm not mistaken, he said, "I thank God for this," or something along those lines. He's thankful. I thank God that I'm going through this. Like I said, I'm kind of on my way in. Like I'm cool with the Valuetainment folks, and there's a lot that they edited out of there. So if he said that I did it, that would be something stupid to say and actually broadcast, because that's admission of guilt. So, but I just wanted to be clear on that, guys. Like he said he thanks God for what he's going through when he was talking about how hard it was sitting in jail and all these kind of things. And in the past, when he talks about making the best move on the board, he says you're responsible for if you do something wrong, it's your fault. So I just want to be clear on that. So yeah, because I was thinking, I'm like, man, Great Pill about to go through there with a fine coat. Let me make sure. Let me.
You bloody right I am. Yeah. I would. I will. That's crazy. All right, man. I appreciate the conversation and the all right. So last question. So after everything we just saw, so do you believe, yes or no? And this is for the chat too. For the chat and everybody in the replay, let me know in the comments. Let me or DL know in the comments. Do you believe from what everything you saw, even down to the other content I did of Andrew Tate, do you believe that Andrew Tate is guilty of the 3, or out of 2 to 3, out of 1 to 3? Let me know which. Do you believe that he raped the women? Do you believe that he coerced them? Do you believe that he's wrong in the lines of sex trafficking? Do you definitely believe that that he had some tax evasion going on, per his words? Question to DL Saint. From what we've seen, because this pretty much started off from the ending of Suzette Speaks up to now. So, and I showed the video because I didn't want to go straight into it, just like guns blazing, because it got to be a conversation, bro. Like, it got to be a conversation. So, the question is, from what you see, do you believe that Andrew Tate, because I want to, because you good, because I want to make sure I get this in a great way. I want to direct. Do you believe that at the age that he was an adult and she was a minor? Do you believe that he was talking to her, dating her while she was a minor at that time?
I don't believe that with what I've seen on today, right? Again, and I stated the reasons why. There's multiple borders, there's multiple countries involved. She's a minor, there's parents, there's other grown-ups involved. I would find that one hard to believe based on what what we saw here today, what you showed me today with that dude podcast is, yelling and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe that. Is it possible? Yes, possible. I mean, you never know who's a weirdo till you know they're a weirdo, right? I never knew that Mike Jackson was doing what he was doing. You know what I mean? So you never know.
He did Thriller, so it's like, yo.
Billie Jean. He did Billie Jean though. I was like, I remember him was Jackson 5. We was all like, me and my cousins be like, oh, we Jackson 5. Nobody wanted to be Tito. But anyway, I would say that no, I don't, not based on what I've seen. Again, if someone comes up with some evidence or comes up with some proof that like this is what he did, then yeah, like I said, he's a weirdo, he's horrible, he needs to go under the jail. Did Andrew Tate finesse women and get women to come out here and get money for him, i.e. work video, the video girl thing or whatever? Yeah, absolutely. Do I believe he did that? Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is tax evasion? Did he do some tax fraud or tax evasion? Probably. Would I be surprised? No. Like I said, rich people don't want to pay taxes. Nobody wants to pay taxes. If you can find a way to get around it, you're gonna get around it. We'll see. Like that's. But of all the charges he's looking at, when I saw that tax evasion on there, I'm like, ooh, that might be something. And then this ties to organized crime thing. So overall, am I forgetting one? I know you said that it was tax evasion.
No, those main three. We're pretty much we're pretty much.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So again, I'm not saying the dude's an angel or anything like that. Is he out there, working his finesse, or as he calls it, the famoose? Absolutely. Right. Are there grown women falling for it? Absolutely. There are even more women now trying to get at him than before, which is funny. He was locked up getting mad letters from women all over the place, which happens all the time. We know how that
even with the well, I don't know if that's a fact, but there's documents of the guy that was in prison. They show who he looked like. He looked like a model. He got out. I forgot for horrendous crime, and then some rich chick had just ended up dating him and marrying him and had babies with him, and he left her and went with another one. The guy, if anybody ever go again, check out the comment in the videos, not the live feed, but I did a reaction to the guy with the 7 babies. According to him, when he had an interview with Pearl, he was like, yo, I still have women coming at me. And
yes, they do.
He was literally telling them to stay face, like, yo, you ain't SHIT. And I'm like,
don't you know who I am?
Us good guys ain't winning, man. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start this. I want to start this statement. Y'all finish it. Good guys finish
last. Yo, and we be hurting these streets.
Yeah, right, you gotta cut that simpleton mindset out. And I say that to people too, because it's not gonna get you anywhere, bro. Men believe in the Disney fairy.
It's not possible.
Disney fairy tale way more than women. So, and it is what it is. It sucks. It sucks. I wish I could tell guys to go out there and be a perfect gentleman and work hard and show up with flowers and all that kind of stuff. I wish I could tell you to do that and it would be successful, but it just won't. That's just not how the world is moving today. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you to do it maybe a different kind of way. You're gonna need some game. But and I think it sucks. I really do. I believe it sucks. You know what I mean? The guys can't just go out here and be good men and go out there and get them a good woman. It absolutely sucks. You got to play a game and finesse these women. And you a good guy, just to bring them out of that mindset that they need this bad boy. They need an Andrew Tate in their life. You know what I mean? They need to do with the 7 babies in their life. Nah, y'all got it messed up. But hey, man, it is what it is. I deal with the situation on the ground, how it is, not how it should be.
Yeah,
right. Because I'm unplugged. Shout out to the red pill world, baby.
Oh, I like that jab. Oh man. All right, man. DL, I appreciate you, man, for coming on through, having this conversation. It really was a good one. So
honor's mine, man.
Yeah, it really was a good one. So I appreciate it, man. So I guess I'll catch you at 8 p.m. Central. That's an hour from now, guys. I was trying to get this hour in, or at least at very least 2, because everybody know I don't long stroke. I promise you, it triggers me. Drag out a conversation you want to. I will cut you off.
Over here saying long stroke and Paul. You just sit down up front, bro. I never would have showed up. What?
I got you.
Lead attorney here.
For sure.
All right, man. I appreciate you for coming on through. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you, and I'll catch you in an hour or so from now.
All right, brother. I'll see you then. Peace.
All right. All right, so let me get my ugly face up in here. All right. I appreciate everybody for coming on through. So what do y'all guys think? Did you think that DL was grabbing some very informed information because he was close to Fresh and Fit, that he was semi close to Andrew Tate in a source through Fresh and Fit? Do you think that that DL was doing a little bit of this? Do we think DL was doing a little bit of this? So do you think that DL, instead of him drinking or swallowing the red pill, do you think that he drank the purple pill? You know, if anybody don't know, he pretty much going back inside the matrix, just take a peek a little bit and then come on back out again. Do we think, again, y'all let me know in the comments, you let me know on the comment section, let me know in the chat. Do you think that DL was doing this? Because it was a great conversation. Honestly, it was a good conversation. People kind of agreed, disagreed, and like, hey, what about this? What about that perspective? And that's what we're about at Great Pill Podcast, bringing out both perspectives on what we see in different views, right? So, do we think DL was doing this? A lot of deflection. Yay, nay. So again, so guys, we will catch you in the hour. Ashley, I will send you the link in Discord. Everybody, all the links and comments are there below. Definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the bell of notification. Appreciate everybody for coming here. Inky, if you're still in the thing, everything's emailed to everybody that's invited, and DMs are the good stuff because everybody is scattered all over the media. Some is emails, some is DMs, some is Hangout, Google Hangout, all this crazy stuff. So this is how you get plugged in to connect and network with other people. So I appreciate everybody for coming through. I definitely appreciate out to Ashley again for engaging in the conversation. Definitely appreciate out to LTTV for chiming through. Definitely appreciate that. I guess this is off day, so we will see. So I will catch y'all guys later. Peace.
At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do. I'm back with vengeance.